click go live, and then it's like, actually, you're not live on your main encoder yet. And I'm like, I am YouTube.
Nice try, idiot.
I am
Nice
YouTube.
try, dumbass. Listen, just because you're YouTube doesn't mean you're right,
Yeah, you're cooking there. Also, can I
as
get
we were
your
about to
webcam
prove.
through here?
No.
No.
I'm sorry, what, you want footage of me for free? What are we talking about?
Oh, I just have the Maldhound rectangle in the lower right hand corner.
The mectangle, hell yeah. Okay, you should have it now. Let me know if you don't. I hope your floor is wet. Gerald, what the fuck is going on, man? What's happening? Why are we bringing that energy in here
There we
today?
go. Do we want to dock as well?
Oh yeah, I'll be docking us. Yeah, for the 10 motherfuckers who are here. God bless every last one of you.
Well,
All right, we're docked.
what's your stream title name, by the way, Mald? I am very curious.
The hybrid mana situation.
That's a good one. Mine is Maldhound and I educate your ass in Hybrid-Jitsu.
That's pretty good. Oh, good old trusty Dusty. Thank you for the tier 1 sub at the 4th month, my friend. Hey, what's up, Firecraft? Hello, Revan. Hello, Stone. Hello, Kangaroos. Why do we hate Trinket Mage? Because of how he is.
Yeah, it's true. Peace and love, Khan.
Peace and love, Khan. Also, I'm gonna fucking get you. I'm gonna fucking get you. I'm gonna fucking get you, dog.
Actually got
Fuck
to
hybrid and monocolor? Why do you have people doing wrong think in your chat, Elk?
I don't know, man. It's like I really like the hybrid mana changes, and every argument I've heard against it is like just not the best. There's some that I kind of jive with, and I can see the vision, but there's people who are like, this is going to burn the commander format to the ground, and I'm just
Right.
like, oh my god, let me sensationalize things, man. That's my job. I'm supposed to put that in my thumbnail. You're not supposed to think that.
Yeah, come on. And also another thing about Trinket Mage, I don't want to spread allegations that are too serious. I have never seen him walk into a room and get an artifact of mana value 1.
That's true. Also, thanks for subscribing at tier 1.
Never lived up to the text box. Never lived up to it. The only argument that really works for me is that it's confusing for new players. I mean, I don't agree with that, because when I was a new player, I thought the game worked along the lines that they're changing it to. And every player that I've ever talked to about hybrid mana has gone like, oh yeah, I thought it worked this way, and then I learned that it doesn't. Like, the way they're changing it to is the way that, like, 100% hit rate, new players have intuitively thought it worked. And the only people who think it's confusing are entrenched Magic players.
Yeah,
who thought it worked. So go.
No, it's super confusing. And you know what isn't confusing? Urborg and Yavimaya and off-color fetch lands and, like, I don't know. We're already in the meat. Come on. This is the only format where hybrid cards don't work this way.
Yeah, I think it is extremely simple to go, can the lands in your deck cast the spell? You get the spell.
Yeah. And Gavin's kind of made it clear a little bit that, like, this isn't going to slippery slope into Phyrexian mana. He's like, we don't really like Phyrexian mana. That was a mistake. And so, like, yeah, not every color is going to get Dismember. People are like, this is going to slopify the color identity. Like, all 50 cards with hybrid mana symbols are going to slopify. That's C-play, rather. We're burning color. No, we're not. It's okay. It's okay. We're all right. I don't know. So I sympathize with Tubrid haters.
I don't. Go to slide 3. Bad arguments made by bad people. What about Beseech the Queen? I don't give a fuck. Because one of the first things I heard about it, I'm going to Scryfall now. Somebody said, does this mean Ulalek can go in any deck? ? Exclamation point. Yes.
Yeah, Leyland of the Guild Pack goes in a green deck. It's cool. Yeah, sure.
I think every every situation someone has presented to me as a way that the hybrid mana change could be air quotes abused is to me the most creative thing that's ever happened in Magic.
Yeah, no, okay.
Your 4-piece combo, not interesting. Reaper King and your mono red deck? Tell me more about that.
There's so many arguments I hear about this, and in fact, one's happening in my YouTube chat right now. Nomorebot says, "Stop companions! No, companions only use hybrid mana." I'm like, dude, if you have a companion in Commander, that's a win. Companions are so cool in Commander. I don't know what to say. They broke every other format, but in Commander, they're great.
It is. So many of the arguments seem to boil down to I don't like change, and I'm not gonna use examples that are too hateful of why we don't like change. But it's like if we were in an art class and a disabled student came in who had been in like an accident and lost both their ears, and somebody was like, well, how is he gonna draw with no ears? And I feel like I'm over there in the corner being like, with his fucking hands? Why is this? And everyone's like, no, but the ear, like he can't hear like we do. How can he draw? How can he draw? Dog with the fucking markers. What? Like I just don't get it.
Oh god, yeah. Obosh in so many different decks would be so fun.
And the other thing that I don't other thing that I don't understand.
Yes. So Popper, we're gonna be watching the Trinket Mage video in this stream and the Blood Artist video. So we're just gonna start with a little bit of vamping about our opinions going before and after, you know. See if we get propagandized against hybrid mana by the end of the stream. Maybe they make compelling arguments we've never heard before.
Unlikely. I mean, Trinket Mage's fucking thumbnail is like 2-color cards won't exist after hybrid mana, which is dog is falling down a hill posting that.
Oh.
Yeah, time to slot Reaper King in all my decks because I wanna. Just don't say cool things. if you're gonna argue against it, fuck yeah.
Oh my! On the podcast that got uploaded yesterday night, we were talking about hybrid mana changes, and one of the things that Trinket said was like, dude, there's going to be like a mono white combo deck, and they're going to play Beseech the Queen, and they're going to play Urborg to cast it for 3 mana and get their combo piece. I'm like, that's the most funny thing I've ever fucking heard.
That's the coolest thing that has ever happened in a game of Commander. If a mono white deck spends 3 black mana on Beseech the Queen to tutor for something, that is cooler than any 4-card combo that has ever happened. That is my line in the sand. Like that is why. Oh.
It's so funny. Oh, but what about Mizzix of the Ismagus getting it, and its cost reduced by 6, and you get to free cast it? Dude, Mizzix of the Ismagus I have not seen since fucking 2015. It's been a decade since that card has been relevant.
Oh, okay, keyboard. Then yes, go off, my glorious king. And the other thing that I also don't like the like Manamorphose arguments. Because when they designed the card, they made the decision mono red deck should be able to play this.
Yeah.
They weren't designing it for Commander, but they designed it. They were like, okay, in draft, in 60-card constructed, mono red decks should be able to play this, and mono green decks should be able to play this. And then we go to Commander, and they're like, only Gruul, actually.
Yeah, so Mono Red Storm plays Manamorphose.
Yeah!
It's like, this is, once again, just like, why is Commander working differently? And the argument I heard most in the comments of the podcast was, oh, it works this way because color identity is different than card color, right? So it's meant to do both, therefore it should be both. But I don't think that's right. I think if this card is meant to be an either or, we shouldn't have that 2-color card and then also like in future they print it for the monocolors, right? That's so clunky and weird. And then the 3 colors get all 3 of those. Like, come on. No.
And MMX is saying, my only problem is I don't want Vivi to have it. Everyone else gets Manamorphose except Vivi. You're kind of real for that. And also, if you think the only thing holding back the dam of Vivi is Manamorphose, you got to take some breaths. Because I see like because that argument is made unironically. People were talking about it for Rawl Monsoon Mage. They were like, CEDH is gonna get cooked if you let the Rawl decks have Manamorphos.
Okay.
Brother.
The biggest offenders are war planeswalkers. I don't think there's a single war planeswalker that like really feels off color to me. Ashiok feels blue or black because they both stop tutoring. The only thing that's a little bit weirder is like grave hating on mono blue card, but that's the only thing that's like weird about that one.
Yeah, the isn't this all because Commander is a fan format and the original caretakers wanted it different? Yes, I do believe that is the unspoken argument that people on the internet are not saying as much because they want to seem much more reasonable than that. But I think that like 90% of it is like, oh, it's been this way from the beginning. They said, good old days. They said bread was 50 cents. They said this is a Gruul card. We keep it. We keep it. But yeah, I think that's a big motivator.
No, this is not going to affect any card, Mirko, with two colors on either separate side. So like Avacyn, the flip Avacyn's not going to be affected, and like you said, Elbrus is not going to be affected.
Oh, okay. This will touch on create restriction breeds creativity. Kaiser Glider is asking, they had a deck review last week and they wanted me to elaborate on the statement that budget restraints are the death of creativity because they found the opposite. I have never found a budget deck to create creativity in the gameplay pattern, and that is where I think creativity in Commander arises from. I do not think your deck is creative if it uses a card name that I have not played against before. I think your deck is creative if it navigates through the game in ways that I have not seen before. And there are individual exceptions in which restriction can breed creativity. But what I want to caveat that statement with is restriction breeds creativity if you are trying specifically to be creative. It can help on top, but if you are not already trying really, really hard to breed creativity within yourself, restriction breeding creativity is just not fucking true. Like we see it over and over and over again, and all the budget decks I find are playing the exact same game plan just badly. That and the reason I think it breeds fake creativity is you cut the card pool down so small that all of a sudden it's like, oh, I have to find 60 non-land cards. There are 70 that are worth a goddamn in
Yeah.
my colors, in my archetype, and within whatever budget limit I set. And so you end up being more creative in the sense that you are using more card names that have not been used before, but you end up playing the same fucking game plan. You end up playing the same game plan as the expensive decks, and you end up playing the exact same game plan as every other budget deck. Go look at a budget Feather deck, go look at a budget Zada deck, tell me any of them that play differently from each other.
But Mald, if you play a mono black like ETB Matters deck and you put Cauldron Haze in that deck, that's actually not creative because because
Because because the yeah, the so I think that restriction can breed creativity, but the idea that restriction necessarily breeds creativity is a stupid tautology that if I could stab an idea in the chest, I would stab that idea in the chest. But I can't. I can't bury a Bowie knife in a concept, no matter how much I want to.
I'm just so happy that this hybrid mana change has been like talked about because this is something I've asked for forever.
Hmm. Yeah, budget can make you pick an unusual commander, but you can also just do that, right? And like I'm gonna get super fucking conceited for a moment. I'm gonna get super fucking conceited. The the most wow reaction I have ever had in person to a deck is VV Stompy. It's not even that creative. It's literally just what if I use the mana for a different thing? Um But everybody I showed to was like, "Oh yeah, that's really funky. I like that." And it had nothing to do with rarity or budget or anything fucking else. It was me wanting to go, "Oh, I want to do something different." And so if you sit down and you want to do something different, I think at that point restrictions are stifling your creativity. If you don't want to do something different and you are using restrictions to force yourself to do something different, then maybe it can breed a little creativity, but the creativity you create is going to be so like bottom of the barrel because you don't actually want to do something different. If you're shock collaring yourself into doing something different, then I think it always falls flat.
Yeah, I 100% agree
Kaiser,
with that.
Kaiser, I don't even agree with deck versus card budget. I across the board, I think budget is a poor bar to set. It is a terrible bar to set to manage deck power. It's a terrible bar to set to manage creativity as well.
Yeah, I think something beautiful happened in chat during this, by the way. Someone said,
Yeah.
oh, the MDFC lands are going to get so much more play after the hybrid mana change. And me and a different person replied to that person and said, well, actually, it doesn't work because of the mana symbols on the back. And they said, oh, you're right. But how this plays out in like YouTube comments and stuff is people are like, oh, it's super confusing that Deathrite Shaman doesn't go in both. And people are going to get confused and upset and mad. And the answer is no. You just say that doesn't work, and they go, "Oh yeah, let me fix that."
Yes. I had a similar thing happen. I was talking yesterday about the idea of like aggro's not banned in the lower brackets, but they do have to ask permission, and that's really fucking funny because aggro's bad. And multiple people across both chats were going like, "No, but it is banned, and that's bullshit." And I was like, "It's only banned if having a conversation is the most terrifying thing in the world to you." Like, I think a lot of us are so confrontation avoidant, not in the sense of we don't want to get angry. You can have a confrontation where you're not pissed off and being rude to each other, but it feels like so many people are so confrontation avoidant that we're like, "Oh my God, I would have to have a disagreement about this? No, 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 no." Can't have that. I cannot be corrected or be put in the situation to correct somebody else at any point.
Oh,
Yeah, did we color the mana color indicator versus hybrid mana? That is an interesting edge case.
ooh, whoa, that's a cool. Hang on.
That's the first thing that's actually made me consider. Because the ones where you're not even having, you don't even have to cast it. It's just
Yeah,
giving you color identity.
yeah. So like Elbrus the Blinding Blade or the Flip Avacyn, right? Flip Avacyn has no red
Yeah.
mana symbols on her, but she does have a color indicator. And that can be a little confusing. I mean, I love Elbrus and I love Avacyn, and like they would be very cool to Freed, but I don't think we should like really be like even pointing to hybrid mana slipping into this conversation. Like it's totally possible it happens someday, and we're gonna have this whole fucking nightmare again. But um, yeah, like Flip Grist is another example. Flip Ral would be not is it anymore would be red. So
Right, but as you said, that's disconnected from
yeah,
that's no longer talking about hybrid mana. That's talking about what other what other fucking weird things could we change?
yeah, this is a separate conversation than the one that we're having today.
Hmm.
On top of this, someone pointed out in chat that like Lila, Slick Shot, whatever, is like synergizes with multicolor spells, and then that with hybrid mana is hilarious.
Oh my God, she could be fucking usable. Wouldn't
Oh
what a
yeah,
world.
yeah. General
What a
Ferris
terrible
Rokirik is also
world.
like that. General Ferris is Boros, and he says whenever you cast a multicolor spell, so you put Manamorphose in there, you get a 4/4 Golem. And it's like that's dope. This is a major win.
Yeah, that's sick as hell. That's so yeah. Okay. So let's get into the actual oh, I have to do the ad break. Have you done your ad break?
No, I haven't either.
All right, hit the 3-minute ad break, and then we're gonna start watching Trinket Mage's video and calling him a bad person.
Beautiful. Hey, while we do this, do you want
Hmm.
to do the Asmerandal?
What the fuck is an Asmarandal?
So it's you play the daily, and it gives you two cards, and you have to guess which one has a higher EDH rec play percentage.
Okay. I mean, I Googled Asmarandal and it gave me a bunch of Asmongold clips, so I will be billing you for that.
Okay, yeah, but I
Where
did
do
DM
I?
you the link.
All right, thank you. Oh, it's Asmrandal. All
I'm
right, you
not
little
smart.
liar. You little liar. Play
I
daily.
Yeah, so we have Apprentice Necromancer and Idyllic Grange. I mean, I'm leaning towards the Necromancer. I don't know about you.
I locked in, so I can't tell you.
Ah, it's the Grange? Really? That's
I know
crazy.
that's fucking stupid. It has to be, yeah.
Unplayable dog shit or
Unplayable dog shit or one of the best fucking green stompy cards
I'm
ever.
so mad because yesterday's was so funny, Mauled. It presented me with like unplayable dog shit green combat trick and Seedborn Muse. And I was like, I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, that
Um,
the third one surprised me.
okay, so there's a crazy bad card or a crazy bad card. I feel like because it says madness on it, more people are smoking copium about it. I'm so smart. I'm so fucking
I guessed the
smart.
other one.
Holy
Guild Pack
shit.
20, thanks for the tier 1, by the way. This number 4 is so obvious. It's unreal.
Yeah. Okay. A red card I've never seen before or a black card I've never seen before. Can't fucking block. Amazing. I feel like because this makes it I'm voting left. It makes a token.
I voted black because it's part of the Warhammer 40k precons.
Oh, true.
Wow, I'm on number 6 and this one is really just like fucking awful.
Yeah. 7 mana 6/6 or a 2 mana 1/2. Mist Intruder looks like cuntier. Like Butcher Org is just bad, but I'm
I've answered.
sure so have I, and I'm so smart. Holy
I,
shit.
I I bet Butcher of Org because I'm just imagining some fucking Blim player going, this sounds like an awful card. And just giving it to someone. That's just the only thing I think of. And then this one's super easy.
Yes, it is. And we both voted correctly.
Did you vote wrong? Did you vote Festive Funeral?
I
The
did.
other one says Clash on it. That immediately makes it so broken.
I've never seen a green player clash. Green players think clashing is the combat step. Um, okay, I got this one. Locked it up.
All right. Oh, this next one's also easy. All right, final one. Wow. The last one is really bad, but I
Bad.
got it right.
I think humans is gonna
No, no, no. One of them
2 to 3.
one of them triggers Risen Reef, the other one doesn't.
Oh, shut your mouth. Oh, shut your mouth. Okay, Kaiser's saying, I really do think a good portion of the anti-hybrid change argument is summed up in the top comment of Trinket Mage's video. All right, I'm muting this dumbass's video. We're not even listening to it. We're going to the top comment.
That's awesome.
Is it the one he pinned or is it?
No, the one immediately after that, I think.
Oh, so basically it narrows down to we can't trust WotC with the game design / balance of the game, so any important change is likely to worsen the game. Genuinely, yeah, I think that's the sentiment. I think the sentiment is we're mad at WotC. Every change has been bad. Me no want more change.
Yeah, and
That's not unreasonable.
yeah, that's a valid knee jerk to have. I also just think like applying it to hybrid mana really dampens the Wizards of the Coast criticism.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if this
What?
goes through, I'm making an Atraxa deck where most and all the cards have hybrid mana, red mana just for the memes is also awesome.
Mm-hmm. I I'm gonna say something controversial.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say something a little bit controversial. I We can't trust WotC with the game design and yet Commander is much more fun than it's ever been.
I, you know,
I'm just saying, like, objectively, I was not around for the good old days, and so I am not going to confront the sentimentality of your first experience with Commander 15 years ago and how it's changed since then. But like, objectively, more people want to play the game. More people are coming to in-person events to play Commander. 60 card formats have been murdered by the success of Commander. Like, we have more slip ups. We have Nadus, we have Vivis. That said, Commander is being designed really fucking well. Like, it's for a thing we don't want because it's being designed really, really well for more casual players. It's not being designed well for the sweats. And most people who are in franchise Magic players at this point in time are sweats relative to these other people. And I think another knee jerk to that is like, oh, they're not designing well for the game. They're just designing well to make money. I don't spend money on this game. I have friends who only proxy. All of us are like, yeah, this shit honks.
I mean, it sucks because on one hand, I hate that Wizards designs almost exclusively for Commander. At least that's what it feels like most of the time. But on the other hand, it's like, what do you want them to do? If Commander becomes more popular than every other format, do you want them to not cater to that? Like, I feel like that's a little bit just absurd to think a company isn't going to do that. You know, and
Well, I think that is somewhat on Wizards for making the Gathering the backbone of their marketing strategy for the last 2 decades. Like, I have a moment of being like, I have a moment of going, oh yeah, why are we trusting a company? And I think that sentiment exists on a spectrum in which it's like, well, how much is the company telling you, yeah, trust us? And Watsy is saying that like all the fucking time. And their spokespeople are saying that all the fucking time. And so even though they're still a business at base, like Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast has never gone, we are selling you a product, please enjoy the product. They have always sold you, this is a wonderful game to have fun with your friends and build relationships and develop a new passion for life. And we can write that off as marketing talk, but like marketing talk, it works. That's why there's billions and billions of dollars spent on just fucking marketing things.
yeah,
And so, yeah. Well, keyboard, they are paying attention to the other formats. It's just not working.
yeah.
The comment of like, why are we not catering to the most popular format, but at least pay attention to the other formats? They are, and people don't want to play them.
Yeah, it's
Like,
it's tough too because when they do cater to other formats, they typically do so in really problematic ways as well. So like take modern right now and standard. With the reason why we have this the current reason I hate 60 card right now is mostly due to scheduled BNRs. So for the sake of pro play, they have decided to schedule BNRs outside of pro play seasons, or at least where a banning of a card is not going to shake up a tournament meta. That makes sense on paper. What it means in practice is you have to play against Nadu for another 6 months before he got banned. You have to play against Vivi in standard for another, whatever, and before he or Cauldron gets banned, right? So you're forced to play a shit format. Is really what it boils down to, is they're keeping the format bad for the sake of competitive play.
Yeah. I mean, Secret Beam, man, COVID was the domino that kicked off. Like, these formats were getting their legs under them, and then COVID really fucked it up. And then the rise of Commander just breathed all the air in the room. They just went like, got it. All mine now. All fucking mine now. So I disagree with the argument that we can't trust WotC with game design. I think they've pretty like, and that's with disagreeing with most of their individual decisions from a ethical perspective, from a consumer health perspective, from the perspective of caring for players who have loved this game for a really long time. But in the niche context of like making Commander very fun to play, they're fucking Kobe right now.
Yeah.
It's the what's that one fucking meme of like, this sucks actually, literal coolest thing
Thing ever.
ever.
Yeah.
Like that's what that is what's happening. This fucking sunset. Like that's the reaction of a lot of rightfully frustrated enfranchised players, but they are like there's like a tear streaming down their face because it fucking sucks for them actually.
It is
And then
fucking beautiful what's occurring in front of our eyes right now. That literally one of the most fun and interesting rule changes ever to Commander that I've been begging for forever is being shit on so hard because they managed to sow that much consumer distrust. It is like Olympian level.
mhm.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's so this hot dog is you casting Beseech the Queen in a mono white deck. That's the hot dog, man. If you're like, oh yeah, I make 3 treasures in I use Bucknard's Everfull Purse. I roll a 3. I cast Beseech the Queen. You're the hot dog. I don't give a shit. You're the fucking hot dog, dude. That's not my fault. Um. Chat, did Mald Elks already say why they think Commander's that it's most fun ever? I think that is an objective statement given the rising player base. Like, this is I don't think it is supported by the cost of chase mythics. I think scalping is a separate thing from fun. I think fun is incredibly difficult to objectively quantify. So I'm also not saying I have it 100% pinned, but I'm saying if we were going to create a facsimile of fun, if we were going to try to identify it, it would be how many people are playing it, how many people are going to events just to play it, and how many people are talking about it. All of those are at an all-time high. And that's the entirety of the reasons. Like more people are going to LGSs to play Commander, more people are coming to conventions to play Commander, more people are building Commander decks online, more people are watching Commander content online, more people are making Commander content online, more people are playing Commander with their friends outside of the LGS. Like, it's just over and over and over and over and over again. People are like, yeah, this shit rips actually.
Ugh. Man, I'm looking at Boros Reckoner right now, and the thing with like Boros Reckoner is we did not get Phyrexian Vindicator until All Will Be, or All Will Be One, whatever the Phyrexia set was, right? Phyrexian Vindicator is a mono white damage redirector, and this is a hybrid redirector. Normally, only red got redirectors. And white has finally gotten their first one beyond like comeuppance, I suppose. And I feel like this is a card people would have pointed to and said, look, hybrid mana is dissolving color identity in Magic if Phyrexian Vindicator didn't get printed recently.
Yeah, I just also, Leprechaun Bread, thank you for the tier 1 Twitch sub. And Daryl, thank you for the $10 super chat. I have a question about card evaluation. I want to make an enchantment deck without white. Oh, wrong. I've been looking at Rydia and Bella. It seems to me it's more efficient to play Bello over Rydia. Thoughts? 100% yes, Rydia is a draft card. Rydia is... Thank you very much for the super chat. Rydia is also much more focused on summons. And so if you want to do a Final Fantasy summon deck, you can do Rydia. In every other situation, I would do Bello. Animate your expensive shit, have fun.
All right, you want to
And
start digging into Trinket Mage here?
yeah, let's start ripping this man. Let's start ripping this man up. Oh wait, hold on. There are personal questions to catch up that I think inform more of what I'm now assuming is Trinket Mage's sentiment without even watching the video. Uh, if this takes effect, do you think it will affect the amount of hybrid cards we get in the future? Yes, I do. I think they will feel more free to print hybrid cards because they're designing for Commander, which is the most popular format. And right now, if there's a card they thought could be hybrid, they probably make it 2 colors instead because it's now effectively the same thing. Whereas in the future, it doesn't have to be the same thing, which enables us to do more cool shit.
Yeah, that's one of the main arguments I've heard recently. Like, it's going to open up a whole new wave of Commander slop design, and it's just like there's a whole new wave of Commander slop design anyway. It's just going to have a hybrid mana paint on it. It's like you are going to get slop regardless. If you do not like 4 Commander design, hybrid mana doesn't change the amount of 4 Commander design we're about to get. It's going to be the same regardless of the rules change.
Elk Mald, have you ever seen anyone ever argue for Phyrexian mana as anything but a straw man? No, not once.
God, I want Dismember in every color, but also it's probably just better if that doesn't happen.
God damn it.
I'm fine with Phyrexian mana in every color. You just have to ban Mental Misstep. That's the hoop for me.
How does it feel knowing you can't make fun of our custom cards for having hybrid mana now? Yeah, Elk, how does that feel?
I'm still gonna shit on you if your hybrid mana is not an or. It's meant to be an and, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Also with I love you, Trinket Mage. I am hitting him with the 1.25 speed ray.
Oh yeah. 1.25 speed for sure. This man does not get full time. Absolutely not. So I'm just gonna yell pause.
Yeah, no, I'll be doing the same. Let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Recently, the Commander brackets
Fucking wrong. Annoying voice. I hate it.
Oh no, you're right.
I can't stand it.
PNG tuber, this guy's cringe.
Fucking never seen this man in the same room as another Adeptus Mechanicus. Fucked up, first of all. Anyway, peace and love. 3, 2, 1.
Updated. And my thoughts on those changes will be in this week's podcast. But at the end of the stream, Gavin talked about some proposed changes to Commander. One was hybrid mana. Currently in Commander, if you want to play Reese the Redeemed in the 99, your Commander deck has to have green and white in its color identity. The suggestion is to remove that restriction and make it an or rather than and. So Reese could go into a white deck, green deck, or be the commander for a green
Expedition.
They do clarify looking at the rest of the mana symbols on a card is normal, and use Deathrite Shaman as an example. So this could not be played in a mono black deck, because it has a regular green mana symbol in the text box. And I believe that would mean that if they implemented this change, MDFCs that have lands on the back that tap for those specific colors would also not be allowed. They also said when it comes to two-brid mana costs, which is things like Beseech the Queen, their inclination would be to allow those to work in any deck, so it would functionally be colorless, but they specified that could be subject to change. My initial reaction was they probably shouldn't do this. I talked about it on the podcast, but I didn't seem to have a strong opinion.
Dude, that's me.
Now, after thinking about it for a while, I actually think
pause.
this
Hold on,
change...
Z's here. What's up, baby?
I'm heading to the other house.
Okay, baby. All right. One, is this how you guys film stuff? Do you just pad all your videos?
Oh, dude, I filibuster the fuck out of my shit.
Do we just...
Dude, I need to get it over 8 minutes so I can fill it with mid-rolls.
Jesus! All right, so first allegation about Trinket Mage, explaining random bullshit that's unrelated to the topic for a long time to get ad breaks. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Is really bad for Commander and Magic as a whole. And I very much
rage
hope
bait.
they don't change the hybrid mana rule.
Got a
Initially, you might look at all these hybrid
PNG
cards
just
and
for
say,
fucking rage
why not?
bait.
Most of these aren't good anyway, which is true. And actually, I want to give a quick shout out to Reddit user RB Goldbat here, who made a mock
pandering,
all the cards that would be affected by this rule. So they have filtered
What a
out things like
community
Death Knight
man.
Shaman,
I should
which
listen
would
to
show
him.
up if you just search
People.
Does it bad if Cult Brand Cinder showed up in a mono red deck? I mean, not really. There are actually a lot of really cool things you can do with the hybrid mana change. For example, if you're playing a Boros Sunforger deck, you could now add Wheel of Sun and Moon. Wheel of Sun and Moon
Yeah,
is really
based!
Sunforger,
Wait,
because
this is
when you
true.
cast your sensitive toolbox 1 of instant, it goes back into the
Bro
deck,
made the
and you
wrong
can just
video. He's
cast it again
arguing
later.
for it.
I really like this interaction, but you have to play it in Naya colors specifically now. So if they change this rule, you could do it in Boros or Jeskai or whatever. There's a couple of other interesting things with Beseech the Queen specifically. Since it's 2 colorless
Oh my
or a black,
God.
yes, you could spend 6
How-
generic mana.
I'm
on
about
this,
to kick
but
this
it
man
also
up
means
to
you can play
1.4.
Urborg
This
in your
is
deck, and then
crazy.
just cast it
Holy
for the
shit.
triple black cost. Or if you have treasures.
Did you guys
or
know
have
if you
Felwar
heat
Stone,
food
there's
up,
a lot of
sometimes it
other,
becomes
weird
tastier?
things you could add to your deck to fiddle around with the 2-brid cards so you can actually get the discounted cost. Companions are another thing that could be
Yes.
very
Holy
interesting
God.
for this. I want to shout out
Holy
another Reddit
God.
user here, Animus Noctis.
My
who
love.
made a
more
little
pandering!
where you can see companions by color identity currently.
This is
and then
insane,
if they
dude.
change the hybrid mana rules, the amount of companions you could play in different colors
Yes,
suddenly jumps up a ton.
please.
Links to all of these Reddit posts in the description, by the way. This also leads to some like jank combo lines sometimes.
Guys, I'm
Like,
dropping
with
a
Beseech the
long
Queen,
form
you now
every
have a
day now.
colorless
I'm
tutor.
sorry.
So if you're playing like a mono white deck,
I didn't realize. I didn't realize.
Shows the coolest thing ever on screen, by the way.
As part of your combo
I
line.
really
I
hope this
understand all of
doesn't
that is
happen.
actually
Man
pretty
pointing
cool
at
and
hot
would be very
dog.
fun. And ultimately, if the rule changed tomorrow and they never printed another hybrid card again, I think Commander would be better off for it. But looking at what we have
Okay,
now
perfect.
and referencing a bunch of old cards made pre-Commanderification of Magic is not going to give you the whole picture. We need to think of the future. My issue would be the homogenization of what cards people play. We can already see this homogenization issue with some of the hybrid cards currently in existence. If Beseech the Queen bemes the go-to tutor for all the colors because they don't have access
Pause.
to
And
black
pause, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
fuck
no,
you.
yep,
No,
yep.
fuck you. Go to 6 man. Okay, it's not just creature. Card equal the lands you control. Bro is lying. The man is fibbing.
Holy shit. So yeah, no, believe it or not, objection. 6 mana tutor for a thing fucking reeks. It reeks. It reeks. It's so bad.
Yeah, this is my favorite lunch spot. They give you cold mac and cheese for $80. I'm really worried that more people are gonna get on this. I'm really worried more people are gonna fucking get on this. Holy shit. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1.
normally, then suddenly we're going to see a lot of this one card, and also a lot of Urborgs to then cast that one card. And then if you want to counter
That's
all of the Beseech the
crazy
Queens,
bullshit.
well, don't worry, there's an Ashiok Dream Render, which you can then now
Or
play
you can just
in a
answer the
Jeskai
thing they
list.
tutor
With
for.
the cards that are color pie breaks, like Kiora, Behemoth Beckoner, which has the ability, whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters, under your control, draw a card. That is functionally a green effect that you could now play in
He
any
immediately
blue-red deck. So if you're
recants.
playing
Yeah, that is a
blue
pinned
deck that
comment.
plays
That's
big
like,
creatures, like
yeah,
is it
technically not
Immediately
color
recant.
pie
then you're
breaks.
gonna really
we're
want
fine.
this green effect, and it's the only green effect for that. So all of those decks will suddenly.
Kiora's
now
gonna be
also
an Is
get
It
this card.
Dragons?
Waves of Aggression is another example
No.
of this. It is an extra combat effect
God.
in hybrid Boros, which means there's a lot of aggressive white decks that would want this card. But since it's the only effect like that, it means every single one of those decks only has one option to choose from. So this one singular card will suddenly be showing up in many, many, many decks. Manamorphose is probably the biggest example of this. It is functionally a
Okay,
free
pause.
Yeah, pause. Okay, so hang on, wait.
If this is his fucking argument, where are his 8 videos saying we should ban Soul Ring?
Yes, so there is already a
I
lot of
need-
homogenization between colors, and yes, this will cause some amount of homogenization, as in we're getting new cards in these colors. I don't think these hybrid cards are going to see any more play than a new card would have seen.
One, they won't, and 2, this is that type of like trying to mandate creativity rather than allowing the people that want to be creative and people that want to just play with the fucking cardboard to just play with the fucking cardboard. This is like the same line of thinking that leads people to thinking budget decks are more creative. Like it
Yeah, so hang on. Imagine just for a moment that a mono white extra combat spell gets printed in Avatar. The amount of homogenization we're going to see is no different than if that mono white card that I just theoretically made up actually ended up existing. Because these cards aren't generically good, they still require an archetype to make use of them. Manamorphose, sure, is a free card, but it's also way better if you use it as a ritual. How many black decks are fucking running Street Wraith? Legitimately.
This argument seems like it boils down to like if the card is good, people will play it, and that's bad. I don't get it, man. I don't like if the card is useful, people are gonna use it, and they shouldn't. And they fucking shouldn't.
All right. You ready to keep
All right.
going?
3, 2, 1.
Cantrip for any deck that has red or green, and it color fixes as well, meaning lots of 4 and 3 color decks that don't have red or don't have green will now suddenly want this card for the efficient color fixing. And what about new cards? When we look at some of the most popular cards in the format, a lot of them are mono colored. And that's because, well, if it's mono green, it can show up in green and Simic and Teamer and 4 color and 5 color. There's so many places where it goes into. And there are a lot of really powerful cards designed for colors that are staples which show up
The 4-color deck!
every single deck that
They're
has
gonna get the
that color. First
Manamorphose!
protection,
They're
Justice
gonna turn
will-
the frogs gay! They're gonna cast Aragorn! They've never heard of triomes! They've never heard of talismans! Chromatic Lantern does not exist! God, man. Holy shit. Holy shit. Manamorphose and Atraxa, it's broken. Get it out. We can't let them ritual to Atraxa.
All right, I'm at 6 minutes.
I'm at 6:02.
Okay, 6:02.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
When we look at some of the most popular cards in the format, a lot of them are mono-colored. And that's because, well, if it's mono green, it can show up in green and Simic and Teamer and 4 color and 5 color. There's so many places where it goes into. And there are a lot of really powerful cards designed for Commander that are staples, which show up in every single deck that has that color. Teferi's Protection, Jeska's Will, Smothering Tithe, these are all cards that were designed to be jammed in every deck that could possibly play them, and that is why they're so expensive. They're made to sell product. But this issue would get way worse if they were hybrid cards and then they got rid of the hybrid rule. Jeska's Will could be an Is It hybrid card, which means not only is it every single deck that has red in its color identity, but Mono Blue would want it, and Azorius would want it, and Sultai would want it. The demand for a hybrid staple would be way, way higher, which probably means much higher singles prices. And ultimately, isn't that in Wizards' best interest? Like, financially speaking, right?
Pause.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Smothering Tithe.
Before he rolls further down this hill, I do genuinely want to dissect the point of this causing deck homogenization, because to me, if we have a pile of cards that are good enough to go in a generic deck, I think we've shown off a lot of very niche cards. I don't agree with this argument for niche cards to begin with, but let's say we get something that is like 5-color hybrid and is some type of effect that any deck would run. If the pool of generically good cards gets bigger, does that not increase diversity because we are already past the point of being able to fill a deck with just generically good cards? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, if we were at the point where, oh, there's only 10 generically good cards I can run, and then all the rest I have to pick creatively, then I can almost see it. But if you're running even a 2-color deck or a 3-color deck, you have 60 generically good cards already. Like, you're not picking interesting cards because you have to. You're picking interesting cards because you want to.
Yeah.
And so if these hybrid mana cards come in and do the bad thing, which is increase the number of staples, we're already over the critical mass of staples in the game that allow you to build a deck of just staples. Like if you're building a deck of just staples, if this change goes through, it's not because the hybrid mana change went through. It's because you wanted a deck full of staples. Pick any 3-color commander or most 2-colors commander, most 2-color commanders. You have enough staples.
Yeah, no. Everyone at home who doesn't run Soul Ring, like, legitimately, it's the same thought. It's like, who has opted not to run Soul Ring in their decks? And the same thing can be said, why isn't every single person running the One Ring? It's only a couple cents if you have a laser jet. So, yeah, so everyone agrees, like, hey, I don't, not everyone in chat agrees, but like a lot of people are like, I don't run Soul Ring because I don't like the card. Well, great. You can continue to apply that logic to new cards. This is the first point, by the way, that we just got through that makes me like, that's like, okay, this is at least there's some ground to stand on for the hybrid mana argument. Like, oh, a multicolor staple going in 2 colors instead of just 1 would be a bit frustrating, but they're also printing 1 rings.
Right. So like, it feels to me like if the idea that this is holding back the wave of color agnostic staples, I think that is false. Elendal, we are playing it up because I have previously agreed with Trinket Mage to have a fake beef.
But by the way, everyone,
Include this in the video. I love Trinket Mage. I think he's very intelligent and articulate, and this is a long-standing bit, and it's only going to get more aggressive.
Everyone, I need you to understand there is a conspiracy. Blood Artist, Tomer, and Trinket Mage all uploaded their video on the same day for a reason, and we're doing this stream now for a reason. This is all pre-planned and fabricated.
This was a coordinated. In Discord we talked about, hey, you guys are posting this stuff, right? We disagree with you. Is it okay if we rage bait on stream after you guys all post? And they were like, yes.
This is all propaganda. Everything on Reddit about YouTubers controlling everything is true. So yes, and every time Trinket Mage posts any video, I was like, I'm taking this one down, you bitch. And it's so yeah. So now, and this is why I'm being a little bit more articulate about this part, because this is the first one where I'm like, I genuinely disagree with this. I think there are some arguments for it being frustrating, but I also think we're so far past the point of that being a meaningful difference maker. And I think that this is the argument of, man, I wish we weren't getting so much slop in a trench coat. I agree. Yeah, no, all of this is cured if Wizards of the Coast had consumer trust. This point wouldn't have been made. And but this is also simultaneously the first point. I see the logic behind it, and I'm like, I understand how you arrived at this conclusion.
Yes, I understand how you arrived at that conclusion, and I'm sending you a Truth Nuke URL to pull up for anybody who's concerned about them printing hybrid slop.
Oh yeah,
it's inside the fucking house, man.
It's already out. We have Slopper Man.
We're getting highly generic cards that anybody can use because they want to play the good, funny cards, and I think, like, hybrid mana changing or not changing is not going to impact that. We are never going to stop getting super generic cards that are really good everywhere. And I just like, I think if anything, like if I was, I'm trying to think about like, oh, what if Smothering Tithe could go in a mono blue deck? I don't think that's a blue effect. So not getting into color pie break, but just like, oh, what if Smothering Tithe was colorless? And my knee jerk to that is like, I don't play against people who use Smothering Tithe to begin with.
Yeah. Here's my response. Run enchantment removal. Like, I don't know what to say. It's like, yes, Smothering Tithe is incredibly great. It is a very, very, very good card. Dies to removal, whatever. I think if you are struggling against a Smothering Tithe, you just don't have enough ways to create agency in your deck. I.e., you should probably be like running a bit more removal or like figuring out how to subvert the meta that you're playing into, and reacting to stimuli, which is like the bare minimum to being a living, breathing human.
Mm-hmm. The woke conglomerate. Yes, I am pro Ristic ban because I think it goes beyond being strong and lame. I think it is warping the entirety of the CEDH format around it.
Oh, Eris Time brings up a very good point. The hybrid mana changes make Smothering Tide stronger because you can use the treasures to cast Besiege the Queen.
Oh shit, true. Like I think of hybrid mana come out, they make cards that are good generic for every deck. I think of that a lot along very similar lines to how I think about the bracket two now defending solitaire players. It's like those people want to play the game, and I don't think that they don't deserve to play the game.
Yes.
I do think that they deserve a method to like self-sort themselves into playing the game far away from me. And I think that has... Oh, Badger says, another good counter argument is the actual usage percentage of the good cards. Jeska's Will only has a 16% inclusion rate where it can already be played. Wow.
Yeah, 16% is low. I also can't help but feel that some of that is monetary. Like, think about more like Swords to Plowshares, right? Like,
right, yeah. Okay, anyway, back to the video. 3, 2, 1.
Probably sold some packs. But if Smothering Tithe was Azorius color identity, and even more players really needed the card to power up their deck, then it probably would have sold a couple more packs, right? And I could totally see them doing this. The card Dam is a really powerful, useful card, and they could have made it all hybrid Orzhov, and then it would have shown up in mono white lists and mono black decks. And it would actually be even more than just mono white, mono black decks.
I want
if you look back at that chart, you can see that
now.
hybrid cards will show up in a lot more decks.
Not the hot dog thing.
Which would be the near death
It's
of
the
two
fucking...
color cards in the game. I'm not saying they would completely remove it, but we would see a drastic decrease in the number of two color cards. And hybrid mana symbols.
Oh, Crackle Burst, so cool.
You might be thinking, Con, that's crazy. They wouldn't just print Davin's Veto as two hybrid Azorius. Wouldn't that mess up other formats? Because then any deck with white in it could have this uncounterable negate. But I mean,
thank you for the
look
super
at
chat,
the
Red
game.
Space.
It's all Commander card. Commander has warped the entire design philosophy of the game. How many legendary creatures do we get every set? How many cards just feel like Commander cards? I'm not saying every card is
Doppelgang was
currently
busted
made
and
for
limited,
EDH, but a lot of them are.
Okay,
even
we
in
got
standard
to
sets.
pause again.
And with this,
because now I'm angry again. This is not an argument against hybrid mana. This relates back to the consumer trust argument you brought up, but this argument is assuming that they would print cards that don't belong in those monocolors into the hybrid colors. Because when he said, "Oh, what if all the two color cards became hybrid cards?" My first thought was like, "Oh, that's fucking dope." As long as those hybrid cards still makes sense as a monocolor card of either color. Like if Dovin's Veto, I don't know enough about the color pie. I don't think that Dovin's Veto could get printed as a mono white spell. I think it could get printed as a mono blue spell. Yeah. But I don't think it could get printed as mono white. And so his argument of like, oh, they'll just make Dovin's Veto hybrid. That's not an argument against hybrid. That's an argument of like, well, what if Wizards just fucking ignores their game design?
Yeah, exactly. What if R&D
you can
just
make
stopped?
about anything?
Yeah, what if R&D could just print white Dovin's Veto tomorrow?
Right. And so that's why I feel a lot of hesitancy about agreeing with this slippery slope argument, because he's doing the thing, he's presenting circumstantial as evidence. He's doing the like, this is a series of events that could happen. Yes. And Gavin Verhey could pick up a gun, go into the R&D office, shoot every other designer, and print mono green Dovin's Veto.
The slippery slop fallacy.
Events transpire, man. Events fucking transpire. Yeah, and I think the reason that this argument is taking root is because they keep fucking lying. And so we're primed to believe that they're just gonna lose their goddamn minds. But I think an important thing for me that's centering me is like, Well, if they're gonna lose their minds, the hybrid mana change doesn't matter because they're just gonna lose their minds anyway.
Yeah,
like they're just gonna.
exactly. There's nothing stopping them from printing white counterspell tomorrow. Hybrid mana isn't going to change that. All right, we good to keep going?
I'm going to keep going. 3, 2, 1.
This rule change, I think we're just going to see hybrid mana symbols all over the place forever.
But Reprieve is
I really feel
based.
like if this hybrid rule
Namor
comes
bot.
into effect, we will see a massive amount
Reprieve
of hybrid
is
cards
white.
get printed, and then a huge homogenization of what cards show up in commander decks. If you think staple cards like Cyclonic Rift or Guardian Project already show up in
I
too
do
many
like
commander
white
games,
getting more
it would
stack
be
interaction, but I don't think it should just be
worse
counter target
if
spell.
they were hybrid cards. I really wish they would do the opposite for Commander. I want to see more triple white cards or triple blue or triple green to make it more.
Yes, and this can exist in a
play
world
the
with
cards.
hybrid mana as
So
well.
cards
Yeah,
because we
now-
currently exist in one with
Or
that with
it will
both.
boost the power of monocolored decks.
Now
that
I
are
have to
already at a
fucking pause him
disadvantage.
again because this is this is him being like, not an argument against hybrid mana. This is I want them to design more interesting cards.
And the answer is yes. I do too.
Yes, that would be cool. And I think hybrid mana cards are more interesting. I still disagree with the argument that it's going to cause this massive homogenization of the format because if you want to play a staples deck, you can. Like every color, every strategy, you can just do it already.
If
You are not being
if you want R&D to create cool designs, giving them more tools to do it is never bad. It's
Right.
never bad if R&D is doing well. And the only way you think that it's bad to give R&D more tools and not put them on a short leash is if you don't trust R&D. In which case, I don't really blame you for not doing that because it's been a pretty rough couple sets, right? Consumer trust is definitely low, but once again, this has nothing. We're outside the scope of hybrid mana at this point.
Yeah. Saber of Red, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Hybrid being allowed means we get monocolor companion decks. The argument should stop there. True, because that fucking rips. We stopped the argument there because it's awesome.
Let us live. Thank you for 6 months, tier 1.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Used more carefully, or it would boost the power of monocolored decks that are already at a disadvantage. I feel like cards like Cyclonic Rift would not be as salt-inducing if it was many blue pips and could only really be played in mono blue. Having every card show up everywhere is just not interesting, and it's not a good idea for Commander. And before anyone says, oh, people play bad cards in Commander, blah, 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 a lot of these strong cards that I'm pointing out are relatively popular.
16%.
And the only thing holding them back
16%.
is honestly the price, because they're so
16%.
in demand. I also feel like a lot of people might think, oh, it's already over. We have EDH Rec and Made for Commander cards. Those are going to show up everywhere anyway. But that doesn't mean we need to make this change such that that problem becomes even worse, right? And additionally, it makes decks a lot more boring. So for Red, when they needed to make card draw cards, they invented...
How are we going to say it
but
makes
started
things even
using
more
impulse
boring when
draw a lot
every
more as a
example
red
of what
way
could
to do
happen
card
was
advantage.
awesome?
And now we have red card advantage engines
Every
that can be used so your red decks don't fall behind in Commander. But as soon as we start making hybrid regular
That's
card
pause
draw,
again.
all of
Pause
these-
again. That's
Yep.
another we just don't fucking trust R&D.
Yes.
Treasure Cruise being is not an example of hybrid mana. It's an example of R&D being like, fuck it, red gets to do all the blue things now.
Yeah.
That's not like he's showing a bunch of cards that could not be made as hybrid cards in a world where R&D gives a fuck.
Exactly. No. Like, yeah, even earlier, like Deadly Relic could be Orzhov, let's say, but like the presented thing was like not entirely true. And even if Deadly Relic was Orzhov and then Orzhov hybrid mana worked, it's just like, I don't know. That's not that big a deal in my opinion. And then Treasure Cruise here is like, yeah, this is just silly.
Right.
By the way, Dubious Phil, thank you for subscribing. Guys, did you know with Twitch Prime you could
Yeah, it's okay. All right, 3, 2, 1.
regular card draw, all of these get thrown in the garbage. Because why would I impulse draw when I could just draw cards normally? White decks currently use mana rocks to ramp, but if they're creature oriented and not in green, a hybrid mana
Why
dork
is
would mean they don't need mana rocks.
Yeah,
They
but
can
this
just
doesn't- this doesn't
every
happen.
argument
Yeah,
every argument is what
Like, yeah, dude, if Avacyn's Pilgrim was white mana, I can tap it. I would fucking come. Don't get me wrong. Doesn't mean we're ever getting that even if the hybrid mana change comes along.
It's not a hybrid mana argument. It's a what if Gavin Verhey started smoking meth argument.
Torch him. Once again, dude, they could literally just print 1 white mana, tap, add white tomorrow. They could do that tomorrow. Here's a hybrid mana dork that we could see in future with 1 Selesnya hybrid. It would be like,
Oh yeah, wait. No, even more. Look up Ornithopter of Paradise right now.
Yeah, true.
Look up the fuck. This is Trinket Mage's sleep paralysis demon.
Eldershire, thank you as well for subbing with Twitch Prime. See, it works. Guys, did you know with Twitch Prime?
Wait, thank you for the 10 bits. What if the world's made of pudding, man?
Listen, tomorrow, they could print Selesnya hybrid, Disciple of the Angels, tap, add white mana, spend this mana only to cast an angel creature spell. We've seen this before on Giada. And a green dork that taps for mana for angels would also work in Color Pie. If you made that a hybrid Selesnya card and then gave it to both colors, that would be a design that's real, and it would be fucking awesome. It would be just fucking awesome.
I just can't help but think of, and this is not about Trinket Mage as a person. Again, peace and love, Con. Even when this VOD comes out, I'm so sorry. This seems a lot. This gives me vibes of I don't like how other people fuck. Because pursuant to what you said earlier with R&D, but I think even from a deck building perspective, more tools is generally a good thing. More tools will cause more homogenization amongst the population that does not care about reaching some arbitrary bar of creativity for their decks. For the people that want to use a bunch of different cards and want to use a bunch of complex play patterns, they will still have more tools. And then for the people that play like once every 2 weeks and they just want a deck that works with cards they think are cool, they also get more tools. And acting like these people need to be stopped by the law from using staples is just whack as fuck to me. I don't enjoy playing against those decks, but I care way more about what's happening in my deck than what's happening in yours. As long as we've had a Rule Zero conversation that makes some type of fucking sense.
Yeah, so long as power levels align, I really don't care what my opponents are doing.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, your deck isn't interesting enough. What?
No, dude, literally play dinosaurs across the table for me. You're good. You want to play dinosaurs?
Yeah,
that's
like,
fine. It's not my shit, but like, I don't care.
Like, as the internet shit talker, I will play against like fucking Kibo. I will play against Rin and Seri. I'll be like, type shit, hell yeah. Like, I played against a Rin and Seri deck that used every fucking staple imaginable. It was like all the changelings, all the like good cats, the 2 good dogs, and then all the just like EDH rec interaction. And that game was still fucking awesome because they were fun to play with. Like, the idea that we need the people across from us to be playing hipster cards just because we like hipster cards, that's so fucking crazy to me. That's so, unless you play green, you guys can get fucked.
Yeah, so like, it's just like, so long as power levels are aligning, it doesn't matter how boring, you can't see the air quotes, I'm a PNG tuber, but the opponent's deck is.
Is this even an argument against something Trinket Mage said right now? It is an argument against the argument he's persistently bringing up about this would cause homogenization in decks. I think I am agreeing that it would cause homogenization in the population that just wants to play with good cards. And I don't understand, genuinely, I don't understand what is so terrible about that.
Yeah, and the other argument that we just completely believe is false as well, chatter, is, oh, they're going to print Simic or like Simic hybrid Birds of Paradise, like, or like Selesnya hybrid Birds of Paradise.
Yeah, every example that is probably the thing that I'm beefing with him the hardest about. Every example he has showed is a ridiculous bad faith hybrid thing that would not be a consequence of hybrid change. It would be a consequence of R&D all quitting at once.
Yeah, like they can print a mono white mana dork tomorrow, but like this doesn't have anything to do with hybrid. Anyway, we can keep playing the video. We're almost done.
Yeah. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Even if it's not a strict power level thing, like it's an individually super strong staple, the easier thing to do is what people will go with, and that will permeate through Commander really quickly. It sort of ruins the challenge.
Also, by the way, I do need to
try to
back up
decks in
Trinket a
different
little
color
bit.
combinations. You won't have to use
Insofar, and
different
it's
cards.
like
You'll just use
these
the
videos
same
do have
ones
quick
for your other
turnarounds.
decks because,
Typically, you'll
well,
spend a week.
It's kind of easy to do.
So
Now,
like
of course,
sometimes
yeah.
the examples
my
aren't the
opinion,
best,
and
but
if
like
you have a
the
different one,
argument
that
is just
perfectly
flawed, is
fine. I would
also
love
what we're
to
saying.
hear it. This is a discussion topic, and if you want to hear more discussion about this, assuming everything goes right, I am releasing this video the same date and time as Tomer over on MTG Goldfish, and I will link to Tomer's
Forgot to
video
shout out
on
Blood
Hybrid
Artist.
Mana in the description as well, so you can
Nightmare.
get another perspective on it. I really love all of the video essays Tomer has been putting out, so seriously, go give it a watch. It's worth checking out. Wizards, I feel like, is already kind of prepping for this change. Spider-Man had hybrid mana symbol cards, and Avatar
all
will
fucking
also
ripped.
have hybrid mana symbol
And
cards.
he's all fucking
and
ripped.
Morrowind will also have hybrid mana
But
cards.
that one doesn't
And while
count
I was
'cause it has
editing this,
the
I
mana
also
in the
like
text.
realized that Tarkir had hybrid mana symbols too.
I know, but
and
that's based.
Ninja Turtles is going to have hybrid mana symbols
Sure.
as well. So it's like hybrid mana symbols all over the place already. I didn't even realize how much we're getting. So maybe it's too late already.
Okay, I
guess.
would like to
have no
pause.
direct
Yeah.
Another thing that and this is just a general line of argument I dislike, is I really dislike that thing of, oh, I'm doing monocolor as a challenge. And that typically it's tied in with like, oh, I'm doing budget as a challenge. I'm doing this to force myself to play with different cards. You could just do that.
Yeah, like you can just impose any number of
don't
vector. Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, you don't need like a handgun pointed at you to make you use cards that are you can use cards that are different because you want to use cards that are different.
Exactly. The other argument is too, it's like this doesn't have to be a rule change. You can just rule 0 hybrid mana to work this way.
Oh no, you fucking cannot. Whoa.
I'm glad you have the same reaction to it as I do. It's just like, yeah, here's the thing. Your playgroup can just rule 0 to have hybrid mana not work this way if you really hate this rules change. How about that, pal?
Yeah, I do agree this is very like Dark Souls versus Elden Ring energy. It's like I need to be forced at gunpoint to do this in a hard way with bad things. And even then I never, like when I see these things, I've never seen anything that I would call creative come out of this. Because it just goes to, I'm doing monocolor, I'm doing budget. The pool of good cards is incredibly restricted now. And so now I don't actually get to make choices.
Dude.
Because I only have so many playable cards. Like I don't get to make an interesting choice. That choice has been taken away by the fact that I have no good, or I only have 5 good options. So guess what? All 5 good options are going in that fucking deck.
Lettuce Live is saying, oh my god, the hybrid tricolor cards for Murders at Karlov Manor and monocolor. Yeah, they're fucking awesome. Look up Flotsam Jetsam, Mald. This is one of the coolest fucking cards that is going to become mono blue because if this change goes through. The first one's mill 3 cards investigate. That is all mono blue.
Fuck yes.
Jetsam's
give
fucking
me that.
sick.
What?
Jetsam's sick. It's so good. And you can play this in Golgari if I'm not mistaken. Because you can do green, black, black.
Like I think what Trinket Mage has done a really good job of channeling is the intense distrust that WotC has sowed in the consumer base. Because if you look at this and you look at every example Trinket Mage brought up of hybrid cards that currently exist, and he even said himself, if they did it with cards that already exist, this would be fucking awesome. All of these fucking cook. All of these allow you to do more interesting things than we were allowed to do before. And it seems to me that the entire reason he is against it is because he, like all of us, really do not trust WotC.
Yes, exactly.
But I don't trust WotC from a financial perspective. And for Trinket, it seems like it's verging into like, he just thinks they're gonna print random bullshit.
Yeah, no, fuck marketing, fuck financials, fuck everything about Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, except R&D. R&D are your friends. I will keep shouting this until the day I die. R&D are your best friends. And
R&D are cranking nonstop 90s to do the best they can for this game.
Exactly.
And
so,
I think
yeah.
I think they make a bunch of fucking hits. I think they make a bunch of fucking dunks.
Major issue in the chat, by the way. Someone did call this Breach the Multiverse from Home. And I just have to say, you get to cast it without paying its mana cost, so you get Eldrazi cast triggers, and also you can hit instants and sorceries and artifacts. So
this would go in my VV deck fucking tomorrow.
I'm gonna, dude. I have Cormella. You saw Cormella.
Oh, give it to me. That's yeah.
Oh,
It's
day. Surely,
my argument against the wait, my argument against the hybrid change is that when presented with a hybrid card, where do I put it when I sort my cards? Wolf, shout out you for being real as fuck. Shout out you for being so fucking real.
I saw someone comment, the only reason I don't like the hybrid mana change is I like all my cards to look the same. It's just like, it's aesthetically unpleasing.
Thank you. Just say yes. Just say that. That genuinely, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think we make the rules change on that basis, but like if you never use it because of that, best argument I've heard.
The only thing I've ever sympathized with the anti-tutor crowd, there's people like ban tutors in Commander. The only argument I've ever agreed with that is like, John takes a long time when he's searching his card.
Oh, fuck John, dude.
Or like, I hate shuffling. And I'm like, you know what? That's fucking based.
Yes. And like, these are the choices where I'm going to keep doubling down on this, where because tutors are legal, you get to stand up and be tall and say, I don't fucking do this because I have principles. Like all the Staples haters, if this change went through, could stand up and be like, I don't use hybrid mana because I hate Staples. And right now you can't fucking do that. Don't you want a little soapbox?
The Puritan power you get
buddy,
to feel.
Come here. I'll just jingle the keys. You get a little soapbox.
There's a
you can talk about how much cooler you are.
Audric player out there, and they're going to be fucking coming buckets imagining the like righteous defense they're going to give for not running waves of aggression in their mono white Audric deck. There's someone out there that's just like, he's ready to have his like fucking Atticus Finch moment, you know? Just like
Hold on, somebody said they left a super long comment on your last podcast, so
I'm excited.
I'm gonna go back them up. They said their name was Epitaph. I can't see this shit, man.
Oh, also I hit 30K on YouTube just now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Not $30K dollars. Of course, well actually, no, it is 30. You get $1 per subscriber. Naturally.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Rare L take from Snail and L. Jay Arlington, thank you for the raid. We're currently talking about a proposed rule change to Commander that would let you play hybrid mana as an or rather than an and. So cards that are like blue and red with a little split symbol you could play in red decks or in blue decks. I hope you're having a good stream, my friend, and please have a good day. Thank you so much for the raid.
Sorry.
Hello, everybody.
Rare L take from Snail and Elk. Is that what the start of that comment?
From Elk and Elk, actually. Everybody, This is 33 Elk, my friend and fellow YouTuber.
Hello.
We were talking about this together. Rare L take from Snail and Elk.
I'm
This
so
is the
happy you think they're
1%
rare,
of time.
by the way.
This is the 1% of time I don't agree. Love your work, but I just can't stand this. A major issue with split mana being used as or is that it destroys the idea of color identity, which is the Commander philosophy. It creates a messy set of if, ands, and buts. It just adds more to rules to remember when building than it would genuinely add creativity. Can you run a split card in 60 card decks? Yes. Can you not also put any land or card into these decks? Yes. However, in Commander, you cannot run any land or card in any deck because of the identity pile. This is no different and should stay how it is. I've played white cards in a red modern deck with no ability to cast them. It's simply a different format. soapboxing. Oh, limitations breed creativity. No longer reading.
Incorrect. No. So I
Incorrect. I'm wrong.
I firmly disagree with your point here, and we've touched on it a little bit before. Is yes, the hybrid mana change is a little bit messy insofar in as you're going to have a hybrid mana card in your deck, and it's not going to look cute when your Boros card, when your card in your Boros card is red black, right? That's like, ew, it looks gross. The point is, though, is that these hybrid cards could be printed as a monocolor card in either color. And what that means is it should probably be more available to those colors than not.
Mm-hmm.
And also, yes, Leyline of the Guild Pact and Oma would be hilarious. So, yes.
Yeah, like, I think because the idea that it would destroy color identity is based on the argument that Wizards R&D is frothing at the bit to destroy color identity, and hybrid mana is one of the like sole pieces of duct tape.
Yeah, like we're not going to get hybrid Llanowar elves tomorrow. That's just
Right.
Unless it's red-green. 1 mana red-green dork we can get, and that's because, hey, red just gets mana dorks.
Mm-hmm.
Further in the comment, I refute that, says epitaph _. Listen, I just vastly disagree with this. But okay, have you considered that Beseech the Queen makes you Totor the card, and when you Totor the card, that card goes in hand, and that's not okay. No, and you get to look at all the cards. You're not supposed to do that. So, yeah, Spider-Man did have a Gruul hybrid mana dork. It just wasn't 1 mana. Read all of it, question mark.
Yeah,
I'm not the one with it pulled up, epitaph.
No. It's most of it is just arguing. It is arguing the specifics of hybrid mana cards not truly being able to work in a mono blue situation or mono black. I'm not going to read all of it because it is, quite frankly, unnecessarily verbose.
Okay, I did call this
about...
in the podcast a whataboutism. I think Waves of Aggression is a whataboutism. This is one of the first hybrid cards they've ever printed, and it did something that maybe White doesn't get if we think about it. My point is that with hybrid mana being in the Commander toolbox now for designs, that they're going to be a lot more cautious about what they're printing into Commander rather than flagrant and whatever.
Yeah, and this is like saying we shouldn't get Simic cards because Nadu exists, in my mind.
Can you
That's what it feels like to me.
For me, I'll page through this myself because Epitaph is really doubling down here.
Well, they are talking mostly about. Hold on, wait, what?
Because let me peep this out.
Ashiok Dreamrender. They're saying Ashiok Dreamrender has abilities that could not work in mono blue because exiling each opponent's graveyard cannot be done in mono blue. I think that's capped just off of like Soul Guide Lantern. That's a colorless thing that lets you exile everyone's graveyard.
Mono blue can't exile each opponent's graveyard. Have you heard of Trinket Mage and then getting Soul Guide Lantern and then that's a mono blue? Like, yes, this is just a colorless ability. I somewhat agree that this is the only ability on this. But if you think that this is the rock hard evidence that you need to then say all of the positives that come from hybrid mana are overwhelmed by the fact that Ashiok exiles all opponents' graveyards in mono blue, I think you're just wrong. Epitaph. If you're saying that this one small dink, just like, oh, mono blue exile each opponent's graveyard, that doesn't make any sense. That kills every positive, the 80-90% positives. No. I firmly disagree with you. I'm sorry, that's just the end of the conversation. I just disagree.
Yeah, their argument appears to be that most of the hybrid cards are not abilities that could truly be done by either color. I disagree with that based on the ones I've seen. I would say it lends more credence to Trinket's future where they print hybrid Dovin's Veto. No, it doesn't, because the cards contained on Ashiok can be done in either color.
So they're not going to print Azorius Dovin's Veto. Tomorrow they can print mono white counterspell, right? This is the argument I was talking about earlier. Tomorrow they can print mono white counterspell. They're not going to do that. Yeah, so they can already break the color pie if they want to. It doesn't mean they're going to just
Wait.
because hybrid's legal.
Do you care about the color pie? Do you believe it matters? Yes. I don't believe it matters to the degree that other people believe it matters. I do believe it matters. Doesn't Flotsam Jetsam immediately play into the color pie break argument? It does not make sense to be a mono blue card.
This is a mono blue card up the ass. Are you serious? What the hell?
Well, I think there is the argument of mono blue. The historic things I've seen for mono blue have been instant and sorceries, but there's one
reenact the crime.
I was fucking halfway through typing it in. Anyway, get ready for the Vine Boom.
Blue mills,
Anyway.
blue investigates, blue free cast from graveyards, blue. Come on.
We mill, we investigate, we be free casting from your graveyard. We are allowed. The blue primordial does instants and sorceries. Blue primordial does not allow you to just do whatever. But yeah, like I think the arguments that the hybrid mana cards are all color pie breaks are false, patently false. Ginny Faye is now mono green. That's interesting.
And that's awesome, I feel.
You know what? I'll tell you this. If you run Ginny Faye inside a mono green deck, I guarantee you that is more interesting than any Ginny Faye deck that exists in Naya. 100% that is more interesting. If you turn Elf Ball into Dog Ball, that is so much cooler than any fucking Naya Ginny Faye deck you currently run. It just, like... Everyone's like, but what about this? And I'm like, that rips so hard. that rips so fucking awesome. And it's, again, that is not an argument against hybrid mana. It's an argument against, oh, we think Wizard's design is going to fuck up. And I think that's where my difference is. I don't think design's going to fuck up. I think that marketing's going to fuck up. I think that product is going to fuck up.
Shadow of Doubt and Ashiok is what Epitaph says. So Shadow of Doubt is very blue, by the way. So Shadow of Doubt is just the first part of Ashiok. Players can't search libraries this turn, draw a card. This is a blue effect. This is the most blue part of Ashiok. To me. In addition to the mill. So, Epitaph, here's what I'm saying. Read the comment, my man. Ah! Fend for yourself in the present! Fend for yourself in the present. I'm begging you. I'm hands and knees. Please, 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 please. Please make a case before your peers.
Hold on. Genuine question. Regardless of whether it's marketing or design that fucks up, isn't the end result potentially the same? You got to take the word potentially away if we want to have a genuine discussion about it. I do not think it's the same. I think that marketing fucking up gets you VV. I think that design fucking up gets you Nadu. And I think those are different things. I think they're very similar, but I do think they're different. I think VV got pretty immediately relegated to, like, you're doing high power, but people have played against my VV deck and like it. No one's ever played against the Nadu deck and liked it. Their impacts on 60 card constructed, highly similar because they're very, very strong. But I think their impact on Commander was quite different when it was design is on purpose, trying to push this one pretty hard, and design got rushed by marketing and wasn't able to check on it. I'm a teeny bit confused. If we can run a hybrid card as a monocolor cast, would we be able to run Ginny Faye in a Golgari deck? Yes, that is what the change would happen.
Yes.
That is what would happen as a result of the change. It would be if the lands in your deck can cast, if the basic lands in your deck can cast this card and activate all its abilities, you get it. Are you guys just dismantling bad arguments, or are you guys pro expanding hybrid mana? We're both pro. And so we were watching Trinket Mages because I was open to the idea that he would present an argument that I was unfamiliar with. The best argument I've heard is that it could add more unnecessary complexity for new players. I don't really agree with that, because my experience has been that every new player thinks that the proposed rule change is the way it already works. Like, most people I've met who are building their first decks or building like their second decks are like, oh yeah, I should be able to do that because I can cast it. And then we step in like, no, 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 you're not allowed to, even though you can cast it, because you see that blue pip and you go like, oh, but I'm not paying the blue pip, I'm paying the green pip. And then you go, no, 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 no. No, 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 that's not allowed. You stop. Yeah, see, everybody's going like, yeah, when I first started, I was like, wait, why is it like this? It would be 100% more intuitive. And that's biased because that's how I thought it worked when I started playing, but it's how I thought it worked. It's how my friends thought it worked. It's how most people I have spoken to thought it should have worked when they began playing. And it's mostly those of us who have been, it's like that whole when you go to a shitty school, you repeat those patterns because you're like, that's how it is. That's how it fucking is. Oh, Chedmaster, you got me on that. Is a Signet does confront the as long as your basics can cast it. Good point there. But if hybrid is allowed, why not Deathrite Shaman? Sure, you can't use both abilities, but why does that matter? Because I think in the world where we trust R&D, that is where we're talking about color pie breaks. If they make an activated ability on a card that requires only black mana to activate, I interpret that as R&D saying, this is a thing that you need to produce black mana to be allowed to do. Does that make sense to you, Elk?
Oh yeah, no, it makes plenty of sense. Yeah, so anyway, Epitaph, at the end of the day, Epitaph is highlighting at the end here that definitely disagree that colorless counts as merging color pies. That's a totally fine stance to have. Even if Ashiok breaks the pie by exiling each opponent's graveyard, and that's not something Mono Blue gets to do. My argument is that this is such a small quibble compared to all of the positives and interesting things that this brings as a rule change.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an issue.
And it's again leaning on, well, I think R&D is going to fuck this up. And if we think R&D is going to fuck this up, why are we even playing? I don't want to do, because that's just slippery slope in the opposite direction. But like, if we think R&D is just going to fuck it up, why aren't we playing, like, you should be playing pre-EDH. Or you should be like playing in a dedicated play group where you restrict the card pool. Yeah, like if R&D is going to fuck it up, then everything new is suspect. It doesn't matter if it's hybrid. It doesn't matter if it's two-brid. It doesn't matter if it's two color cards. If we no longer trust R&D to make reasonable cards because there have been mistakes in the past, then that's not a hybrid mana problem. That is a, like, the game is unplayable problem. I need them to not change the hybrid rules so that my mono black Evelyn the Covetous deck is bad by choice, but by design. That's crazy.
Evelyn the Covetous going into Rakdos Vampires is one of the most funny things on Earth.
Mm-hmm. Honest question, wouldn't it be better to allow hybrid cards in the monocolor deck so they don't have to print two of a card and potentially let the two color decks have two of that effect? I think that's a very good argument for why the hybrid mana rule should change. Because if they have a mechanism, if we're like anti-staple, anti-homogenization, and they have a mechanism that they think both colors should have access to, and they go, okay, well, because of hybrid rulings, if we make this an Azorius hybrid card, it doesn't matter. So we're going to print a mono white card that does it. And then 5 sets later, we're going to print a mono blue card that does it. Now Azorius just doubles up on that effect, as opposed to they print a hybrid card once. And now the mono white decks get it, the Azorius decks get it, and the mono blue decks get it, and they each only get it one time. That is an extremely plausible sequence of events for how the hybrid color identity changing decreases homogenization. Because it prevents design from having to spin the block on Boros Reckoner and making a Phyrexian Vindicator. Isn't getting to double up on effects a good and important thing, though? It's a thing most decks want to do, but if we're talking about spirit of the format and like singleton thing, and if you are somebody who doesn't want decks to be homogenized, doubling up on effects is bad.
Okay. Do we want to move on to Blood Artists?
Yeah, let's move on to Blood Artists. Okay. Peace and love, Blood Artist. Okay, 1.25 speed.
Recently,
I am also at 1.25 speed. I'll tell you what, Epitaph, I'll round back around. See if there's anything not already talk about here at the end. But for now, let's just keep things moving, because it's not good to sit.
Yeah, I hate sitting still.
All right, great. So let's hear the man speak.
Okay, I'm at 27 seconds in.
Oh, geez, my fault.
for this, the article goes
Is
on
this
to talk
guy
about some
Trinket
ideas
with a
supporting
better
the change.
mic? That's
As you've
hateful.
probably already seen, the community has some divisive thoughts
That's
on the
hateful.
issue. It looks like it's turning
He
out to be a
clearly
much
has a
bigger
whiteboard,
discussion than
too.
expected, and probably for good reason. This is how the section ends. We'll be reading all the discourse in the community
Yeah, I
around
found it
these
up
4
top.
questions on social media, and we'll especially be collecting things on the official Magic Discord, so go check that out. It looks like, this time, player sentiment might be something they're intentionally looking into before deciding whether
Okay.
or not to implement this change.
Are we
If
on
this is the case, then I
27
think I'd like
seconds
to
or
throw my
thereabouts?
hat.
Oh, I've started playing the video at 27
Fucking
seconds.
beautiful.
Okay, yeah, let's go. You can count us
All right,
down.
3, 2, 1.
As
Yeah.
either of its 2 colors.
Yes, we've already
After
watched
this,
Trinket's video.
the article goes on to talk about some ideas supporting the change. As you've probably already seen, the community has some divisive thoughts on the issue. It looks like it's turning out to be a much bigger discussion than expected, and probably for good reason. This is how the section ends. We'll be reading all the discourse in the community around these 4 questions on social media, and we'll especially be collecting things on the official Magic Discord, so go check that out. It looks like, this time, player sentiment might be something they're intentionally looking into before deciding whether or not to implement this change. If this is the case, then I think I'd like to throw my hat into the ring. So today, I'm going to talk a bit about why I think this change should not take place. I think this discussion could do with a bit of context, though, so here we go. I'll keep this part
No.
brief. For the newer
Here's
players,
where we time
hybrid mana
fill.
cards are cards with a mana symbol
Okay.
that looks like
Luckily,
this.
Blood
This
Artist
symbol is
uses
both a red
chapters.
and blue mana.
So let's
Yeah.
skip to little to gain, 201.
Okay.
You can count us down. Whenever you're ready. Hello? Did you die? I'm at 201.
Yeah, I'm running through. I'm at 226 now. I've been listening.
Oh shit, my fault, my fault.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I meant like we use chapters, so let's skip to 201 and then start from there.
Yeah. Okay. Are you on 201 right
Yeah,
now?
I'm on 201 right now, yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
My first point is
I
to
am
bring
on
up one of the
2.1
bigger
or
issues I find with
1.25.
the change, and that's
Yeah,
how
I'm
little
also
it
on
actually stands
1.25.
to improve the format. Allowing hybrid mana cards to be played in decks that do not contain
Bro
both
hasn't seen a
colors
single
only
hybrid
functions to
mana
add a
card,
couple of
little
cards
to
decks that
improve.
could not play them before. This is not necessarily a positive, it is a strictly neutral change. Adding or subtracting any number of options from decks is not directly tied to the health of the format.
That's
An influx of
true.
3,000 cards and all the new options they present would not make Commander an objectively better format, just one with potentially stronger and different decks. I bring this
Yes.
up to make it clear that this is a lateral move. It does not exist to fix a known issue or significant problem with the system.
It is a
it's
little
mostly
cool,
a
though.
neutral change. This
It
is
just-
just
Yeah,
it's-
one thing
wait,
considering what the
pause,
format
Yeah,
is.
pause.
it's-
It does fix the issue of me not being able to play Flotsam Jetsam in my fucking VV
Yeah, no,
deck,
it-
which is
it-
a massive problem.
I think a big thing that Blood Artist has missed on here is that new cards that were previously like not options is actually a positive. Like,
Yeah.
new cards are good. New bad cards are bad, but new good cards are good.
Yeah. And then Lulu, thank you for the $10 super chat on YouTube. Highly against the hybrid change. Either make it so things like Sisei is playable in mono white, signets in any deck, or keep it as is. Not every game mechanic needs to translate perfectly in EDH. I agree with that last sentence, but the hybrid mana change is not solely based on the idea that the mechanics should translate perfectly. It's based on the idea that it fucking rips.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
based on the idea that it's fucking awesome.
This is based. The conversation starts with how do we make it work in EDH like it does in every format, and the conversation continues to it's fucking awesome if we did this. So that may be where the conversation starts, but it's not necessarily where it ends. There's a lot more value to adding these cards into every color that they're available in versus this. And yeah, is it a little bit clunky that like Sisei or Deathrite Shaman doesn't work in this? Yeah, but also that's a very easy fix. You just take it out of your deck when you're corrected. It's really not a big deal.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Stands to lose by implementing it. Commander is a format whose identity is tied directly to restrictions. The number of cards in the deck,
again.
the colors they
Holy
can comprise
fuck.
of, each constitute a restriction that
Oh,
influences
my
deck building.
chastity
It's a bit
belt
of a
is
strange
so
environment to
important to my
propose a change
morality
that
as a
just exists to
person.
remove
Holy
a restriction to. But
fuck,
Watsi put
dude.
forward an argument here, that this change gives more options to decks with fewer colors. This is, strictly speaking, true, but it implies two unproven things. That A, it disproportionately
If
helps
bro
lower color
says
decks rather
strictly
than
one more
multicolored ones,
time,
and
I'ma
B,
kiss him on
that
the
lower
cheek.
color decks need the help in the first place. Let's tackle these in order. Firstly, this change would still be bringing an influx of new cards into every color combination that isn't all 5 colors. Monocolor decks would get a boost, sure, but so would 2, 3, and 4 color decks.
Okay.
As it stands, this isn't much of an argument for fighting for the little guy, especially because lower color decks aren't much of a little guy anymore. Wizards of the Coast, for all of their faults, has done a really good job recently of supporting fewer color decks with their designs. This mostly comes in the form of making sure that less supported colors, namely red and white, can now generate healthy amounts of card advantage and mana.
No.
They are
You
not the
don't
frail and
understand.
sad colors that they
Everyone
used to be in
wins.
2016.
Therefore,
As time
We
goes
gotta
on and
pause.
power creep
Yeah.
accelerates, more
A rising tide lifts all ships. Therefore, the smaller ship has not been helped.
Yeah,
What I also don't like about this is that this argument appears to be based on, oh, it's going to make things more powerful, which is an argument that I despise because nothing that like you or I have liked about this, nothing that I've seen anybody get excited for is like, oh, this is going to be so good. It's all like, oh my God, this shit's going to be so awesome.
Yeah, no, the magnets are
No.
cool. But this is like
I'm
the
not
biggest.
about to.
The biggest takeaway from any Blood Artist video is that the mana symbol magnets are fucking hard.
Yeah, like the like I'm not staring longingly at Flotsam Jetsam because I think it's gonna be the silver bullet to win my bracket 3 games. I'm just like, oh, that's gonna be so sick.
Yeah, I'm not here. I'm not putting Flotsam Jetsam into Cormella because it's goated. I'm putting it into Cormella because it's fucking hilarious. It's decent, and on top of that, when I reveal it off of like Keen Duelist, I hit you for 8 instead of 6. It's like that's all really cool to me.
Yeah. It's, you know what? I hate to cast aspersions on blood artists like this, but it's like that we can't raise the minimum wage because it'll make everything too expensive argument. That's what I'm getting right now. I hate to say it. I liked him. I met him in person. I liked him. This is the like, we can't pay McDonald's workers $18 an hour because it will cause too much inflation.
Yeah, so listen.
That's what this fucking slide is.
I mean, so Blood Artist is correct here in that Wizards of the Coast, this argument sucks from them. He has successfully debunked the Wizards of the Coast argument that we should make mono white stronger, and this is the cool way how. Because yes, it does make everything equally stronger, technically, I guess, but that isn't a score against hybrid mana in my mind, even if this is a debunk, you know.
Right. Also, Kydra is saying, both of you throwing away every argument because you don't care and only because it's fun makes the stream feel like a giant shitpost. We have been shitposting often. I don't understand how you could have watched this stream for the past 2 hours and decided we were throwing away every argument when we've spent like 30 minutes on every genuine point.
Yes, we have been.
We spent like
giving like real arguments here as well as shit.
we spent like 15 straight minutes just talking about how Trinket Mage's examples of what we could see are not examples of hybrid mana problems. They would be examples of design fucking up disastrously, which has nothing to do with whether or not it's happening in hybrid mana or not. We've talked about how a lot of his distrust and how WotC is going to handle it is actually just consumer sentiment towards WotC that's being directed towards the design team on top of it. Like we're trying to be loud and funny and entertaining on top of it. And I'm trying to throw in a few dunks here and there, but like every genuine point
is getting the
we
light
have
of day.
been discussing. This point I'm shitposting more about because he's talking about it from a power perspective, which I think has nothing to do with this change in the first place.
Yeah, and also it's just like, even if this is incorrect, it is something that is also just a wash. It's like, yes, everything gets more powerful equally, therefore we are at the place we were at before. There's no change has occurred.
Yeah.
Anyway, let us begin.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
More and more colors are getting access to pieces they didn't before, to the point where monocolor decks don't necessarily need the boost. O'Hare Axonil and Urza Lord High Artificer are fully capable of being menaces despite their single color.
Dog, no!
So, if this is a lateral move that isn't really doing much to help out the little guys, what are we losing in the process?
I'm
I
going
argue the
back to
following.
shitposting.
A well
I'm going
answer
back
here
to
is the
shitposting.
needless obfuscation
I'm
of
only
color
making
identity.
bad
One of
faith
Magic's
arguments
recent
now.
focuses is
Urza.
working around a massive influx of newer players.
It's
If Magic wants to
confusing.
facilitate ease of
I do
learning
not
the
like
game,
this argument
riddling
at
color
all.
identity in Commander
Let
with
me finish,
exceptions
though,
and
but-
caveats would run counter to this idea. Hybrid mana cards are both colors, straight up. Kitchen Finks has multiple white-green hybrid symbols in its casting cost, and because of this, it counts as both a white and a green creature. If you had a card that gave a stat bump to green creatures, and another that gave a stat bump to white creatures, Kitchen Finks would receive both of these stat increases. Now, color identity has never been one-to-one with color. If a card has an activated ability that lists colored mana symbols in its rules text, or has a color indicator, any colors that show up in these symbols are added to the card's color identity. This means that Najeela, the Blade Blossom, is not mono-red, but instead 5 colors. This shows an incongruity between color and color identity, but it's always been an additive process. Mana costs, color indicators, and abilities all combine together to give you the color identity of a card. The proposed hybrid mana change would be our first example of a subtractive change, where you have to actively remember that if hybrid mana symbols show up, you may ignore some of the colors when adding up a card's identity. In fact, hybrid cards will lack a single color identity entirely. This is made more obvious with cards like Leyline of the Guild Pact. Look at this mana
Yes.
cost. Now tell me,
That's
after
mono
the change,
green.
what colors of decks can you play this in? The answer is any combination of colors that includes green or a 4-color greenless deck.
I can
After
play it in
staring at this
Mardu.
mana
Fuck
cost
yeah.
for long enough,
This
you can
is
Yeah, I'm pausing it. Hang on. So
yeah. Pause here.
you can't play it in Mardu. Mardu doesn't have blue-green.
Oh, I thought the second pip is small. I was looking at it. I thought it was black on top.
All right, so
That's my fault.
Leyland of the Guild Pact rips. This shit's awesome. I want it in every deck. Here's the thing. This is a mono green card. If they printed Leyline of the Green Pack tomorrow and it was green, 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 and it had all the same rules text, that would be a legal card in Commander they could print, and no one would bat an eye, except for the fact that a 5-color Leyline of the Guild Pact player would get both. A 5-color Leyline of the Guild Pact will get both.
Wenasi, they did not successfully demonstrate how it's confusing. They successfully demonstrated how my vision is bad.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not confused about color identity if I misidentify a fucking pip.
Yeah.
I can't sit down with Swan Song and be like, fuck, I thought that was black because of the hybrid rules. That's just me being blind.
Okay, here's the thing, too, is when shit is confusing, it doesn't matter. I've met people and they played Sylvan Primordial and I'm like, that card's banned. And you know what they did every single time? Oops, my bad. I'll take it out after this game. That's what happens. It's really not a big deal at all.
I think what this is, I think what's being overlooked, or I guess not even overlooked, but I think something that is genuinely being missed by Blood Artist is I think he misunderstands the way large masses of people are stupid. Like, I think he misunderstands what is intuitive and what is not intuitive for casual players. And the idea that because it is subtractive rather than all additive, like the idea that players are sitting down with a fucking Post-it note for the pop quiz and they have a little bullet point that says color identity is always additive and that's how they remember it, is a just misunderstanding of how brain chemistry works with people who are not paying close attention to things. It is over and over again. I have seen it be more intuitive for people to go like, oh, but I can cast this. Why doesn't it go on my deck? Yeah, like they are trying to break down into equations what is a vibes-based understanding thing. Because their vibes-based understanding didn't work when they were new players because the game was being unintuitive and they had to learn all these fucking rules to fix the fact that it was unintuitive.
Yeah, so listen, the confusing argument, it is real, it is confusing, but is it more confusing than Magic the Gathering? No, this is not going to break the camel's back. It's really just a non-issue at all.
I think it makes the game less confusing. No, I'll fight. I will fight this more.
Let's hear it.
I believe it is actively less confusing for you to have hybrid mana work as an or than as an and. The current rule was confusing for me. YouTube chat, Twitch chat, please, let's begin voting. I want to do a poll. What am I doing?
Yeah. While you do the poll, I'm going to talk a little bit about another point that Blood Artist made here. In that Kitchen Finks is a white and green creature, and I think two cards that buff white and green creatures. Yes, this much is true. However, right, even though color identity is not color, what the difference is when you have a color any other way, it is a hard and fast, it is only that color. When you use a hybrid symbol, you are admitting that this is both. And in Commander, once again, to Gavin's point, it is the only format where it is not both. So it doesn't really matter that color identity is not color at all.
And for my chat, for the poll, this is when you started playing. When you started playing, did the OG rule seem confusing and unintuitive? Or would this new rule have been confusing and unintuitive? Poll, by the way, is currently 44-13. Elk, which do you think is winning?
If I had to guess, I think people found hybrid mana not being allowed more confusing than not.
We are now 64-17, with the current rule being the confusing thing. This is bullshit. This argument is bullshit. I will prove it objectively.
Something sample size, but yes, genuinely speaking.
Hey, we're over 100 votes. That would be accepted by the fucking NHS now, all right? That would be accepted by the goddamn NHS. I played before Commander. I found more annoying that you couldn't use it than confusing. Annoying's also fine. Like, this is just a fake fucking thing that people are. This is a total fucking fabrication, a complete fabrication that we are like harming new players and confusing new players.
All right.
There's plenty. All right, let's continue watching. 3, 2, 1.
Is this thing's color identity? Its singular, actual color identity. Before, it was an easy question with one answer. It was Woober.
Why does that matter?
All 5 colors. After the change, this simple question does not have an answer. It depends. No hybrid mana card has a single color identity anymore.
Okay.
Their identity is either all or a fraction of their colors,
That's fair.
depending on
Right.
the deck they're being played.
Right.
in.
Let's
If the
see what the
ley line shows up
consequences
in a
are.
soul tie
Because
deck,
that is a
its
good
color
point.
identity
That is
will
a
need
good
to
point.
lack red and white. The deck is determining the card's color identity instead of the color identity of a card determining what decks can play it. Again, if your intent is to get new players on board, these kinds of needless complexity increases are going to be working against you. Wizards of the Coast is also showing their hand at being happy to mess with the Jenga blocks. What I mean by this is the community created a...
I don't like that. I don't like that because he brought up a genuine thing that could cause problems and then did not present a single example of it causing problems.
Yes. Okay. The color identity of the card is Wooburg. You can play it in Sultai. All right. So what does that do negatively to impact the game Magic the Gathering?
I'm filming their video for them. I think it is Bloom Tender.
Okay. Wait.
I think that is the you put Leyline of the Guild Pact in a mono green deck. You play Bloom Tender. It now taps for 5.
It now taps for 5. So this 2-card combo makes a makes green a lot of mana.
Can't be done. That's broken.
This is awesome. That's
unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Do you see what these people fucking sound like? I mean, and this is another example of this is way cooler than anything any other elf deck has ever done.
Exactly.
I think that's cool.
For
I think that's a
sure.
more powerful thing, but I think that is so much more interesting than anything you do with Sylvala. So maybe there are other examples. We don't know because Blood Artist won't fucking tell us. But maybe there are other examples where this is bad for the game. But this is the first example I can think of where I'm like, okay, this would be a thing where a 2-color deck having a 5-color card in it would do something different and good.
James
by the
Frederick
way-
in YouTube chat here pulling out the God argument, by the way. Please, we must fight this. The color identity rule hasn't changed for decades. It's integral.
We need to keep these black children out of the schools.
It's integral.
We've kept them out.
We
We've
must
kept
keep
them
the
out for
Constitution
so
the same.
long.
We
For
must.
so long. We've kept them away. No amendments. No amendments. Multiple water fountains. It's been working great. We're crazy line. What the hell? He fucking said it.
This is
Same.
textbook appeal to tradition here.
We can't be appealing to our ancestors. Our ancestors are fucking idiots. Our ancestors are fucking
You can't
dumbasses.
change the color identity rules. Sheldon Menery made them based on base principles. All right, they're derived from base principles. They are pure and they are righteous. You can't change color identity rules. No, it's a game, man. This is not. We're not getting biblical with it. This is fucking Commander. All right, let's keep going.
Back to the fucking video. 3, 2, 1.
Beloved format that functions well and stands fine on its own. Think of that as a Jenga tower. Like a hovering middle manager, Wizards of the Coast is content to change things around just for the sake of change, fixing nothing.
No,
but
they're
risking
changing it 'cause
altering
it's
things that they didn't consider
awesome!
in the
Oh
process.
my god.
When it was originally announced that Wizards of
For
the
the
Coast
sake
was
of-
gaining control of the Commander
bullshit.
format, there was a lot
Bullshit.
of outcry that they would make sweeping
Ooh.
changes to the format and or undermine its community-created nature. It seems now that those worries were somewhat well-founded.
They're
as although this
they're
hybrid mana
undermining the
situation was
community
certainly
by
in the realm of
asking the
discussion for
community for
Commander,
their
it had never
opinion
been
on
a
the
chief
change
issue with the format.
before they
This
do
goes
it.
far
They
beyond
are
changing
undermining us.
individual card legality. Now, the rules and structures of the
Dude,
format
if you
themselves
could
can be
undermine me
expected
by
to be
giving me
tinkered with
cards like
despite a lack of
Flotsam,
need.
I would
This
fucking
brings
love
up an
you
ethical concern
forever.
of mine.
Please,
So, more
undermine
Warlord is
my
around the
ass.
corner. In it, we're going to be getting a return of the hybrid mana symbol.
Yes.
If I can don my tinfoil hat for a moment, it seems pretty obvious to me that these two events occurring so close in proximity is likely not a coincidence. If, let's say, Wizards of the Coast was hypothetically trying to incentivize Commander players to purchase more Lorwyn product, then, hypothetically, would a way of doing that not be to make it so that some exciting new cards would see play in a wider range of Commander decks? If this is true, then is it a stretch to say that the change to hybrid mana could be, in part, influenced by sales? If that's the case, then it would mean Wizards of the Coast is willing to make changes to the very rules of a format in order to push their products harder. The actual intent of a person, much less a group, is nearly impossible to know, but I would be lying if I said I didn't have
Pause.
some alarm bells ringing at how
Wizards makes changes to the rules of the format every time they make a new fucking card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time Gavin Verhey sits down and designs a fucking card, they are changing the rules of the game to sell cards.
guys,
Like
they're making hybrid mana better, and they're making Lorwyn Eclipse better because of that. Oh no, Lorwyn is going to be a cool set.
oh
The
god. Ah! It's I mean, I think it's like I think this is another example of this speaks very well into how little the average consumer trusts Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro right now. And there is very good reason. There's very good reason to distrust them. That distrust makes sense to me. But the idea, like, even though they're framing it relatively conservatively, them going like, hey guys, crazy thought. What if this company tried to make products you wanted to use and tried to make them in ways where you could use them in multiple ways to sell more? Yeah.
Yeah. So
And then the only reason it's bad is because we think design is gonna just give up on making good cards.
yes. So once again, we're just like kind of to the I'm losing it. The hybrid mana change is not going to make R&D go insane. Once again, we're back to this point. It's just like, yes, is maybe WotC like doing it for sale? Ooh, sales. It's like whatever. This is tinfoil hat, like he said. Like,
Well, everything WotC has ever done has been for sales.
exactly. No, it's a company.
Like the idea that we swapped over from this like love of the game shit to now they're just in it for the money is very good old days rose colored glasses. Wait until this man discovers Modern Horizons. Exactly.
Yeah, and yeah. Anyway, so whatever. This is not going to slippery slope into a mono white counterspell. It's just like the arguments have been ridiculous.
Yeah, we should ban Reprieve.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
All right, let's-
3,
Well,
2, 1.
This discussion seems to be. Alright, on to the next issue. There's an argument that's been floating around recently, and it goes something like this. Hybrid mana cards should be allowed to be played in either color deck because the original design intent was for you to be able to play them without both colors. My reply to this would be the following. Designer intent doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form. There is this concept called death of the author, which argues that what you intended to create does not matter. Only what you actually created does. This is usually brought up in literary analysis, but I think it applies here too. The designer never intended for Viviar Nidir, the One Ring, and Oko Thief of Crowns to go around destroying formats. They never intended players to use them on a consultation to purposely exile their entire libraries. But that doesn't matter. The format boogeymen still ran rampant, and consultation still empties decks.
This is just like
what
false
may or may not have been
transference.
intended isn't relevant.
Yeah,
Only
this
what
is-
happened
no,
is
this is-
the fact
alright,
that
pause,
hybrid
pause,
mana
pause.
was
The intent
was
of the
act-
design is for either color to use it, so why can't either color use it?
There is a distinct difference between design intent as it relates to the mechanical rails you built on and design intent as it relates to how strong you think the card is. Like,
Yes.
it's very different to be like, oh, this is a red-blue effect, I made it too good, and this is a green effect that I tacked red and blue onto. That's like, that is a horrific misrepresentation of Death of the Author as it relates to Magic card design.
Yes. So here's the thing. Synergy and how the card is made in a single card is completely different. Yes, Demonic Consultation was never made with Thassa's Oracle in mind. Yes, that intent doesn't matter, the design of it. The design intent of the resource system on a single card does matter a lot.
All right, let's let him get up. Let him
Yeah.
finish.
Yes, let's
3, 2, 1.
intended to be playable in both colors it represents doesn't mean anything. The reality is, hybrid mana cards were designed in such a way that they are multiple colors, and in a system that checks the colors, color indicators, and mana symbols in a card's rules text to determine identity, hybrid mana cards have an identity of multiple colors.
Designer intent doesn't
The
matter
intent
unless it's
argument is a
currently
hollow
how it
appeal
is.
to authority at best. Heck, we can take this further. The entire Commander format was unintentional. It is a community-created way to play. The game was designed with and around a very different system of formats before Commander was adopted by the player base. Does that mean we should stop playing Commander, since it isn't what was originally envisioned? Of course not, because design intent does not matter. By the way, I brought this up because it was cited in the article as one of the main reasons for considering this change in the first place. If you, like me, think that this is an especially weak argument, just know that Wizards of the Coast believes it's one of their better ones. Another major concern of mine is the other changes that this opens the door
pause
to.
here.
Slippery
Okay, I'm glad we let him make the rest of the point because this is like semantic gymnastics that make me genuinely angry. So I'm going to calm down the dunking because I feel less friendly about this now.
Okay.
The dunking is when I was like, ha ha ha, hee hoo hoo hoo. This is like wrong and bad and a just straight up foolish way to structure arguments. Because you can flip basically all of the language on this fucking slideshow. Commander was unintentional. It was extremely intentional for the people who designed it. Why does their design intent matter? They were the ones who set the rule that hybrid mana doesn't work both ways. Why do we care about their intent?
Yeah, their intent doesn't matter.
Yeah, their intent doesn't matter. Author's not here. And the result, hybrid mana cards are both colors. I'll just write a line. Manamorphose can be cast by mono red, and I'll underline every fucking word in that sentence. Like, that fucking matters. Like, that's also a result. It's a 2-color card that can be cast with only 1 color of mana. That is a result. That's not an intent.
Nammerbot,
And
thank
that
you
is
for
a
the super
result-
chat. I do know about white
Hell
counter
yeah.
spells. I'm talking about like actual like the word like the card counter spell as a white card. But thank you for the $2 anyway. Rage baited you. Anyway.
This is a woefully bad argument that I am not going to talk about in like clipping language, because I think it's important to break these arguments down more fully. I think it's better when Trinket Mage is like, they'll print Treasure Cruise in red. I think we get the sound effects and we go crazy on him. But like, this is like, if you watch this video and this argument swayed you, you should meditate on it. I'm not going to dunk on you now. I'm not going to call you stupid. I think you were effectively propagandized by someone who is doing linguistic Cirque du Soleil on you.
Once again, Blood
Like,
Artist,
this
so we
is-
love you, by the way. Hi, we're good
I
friends.
love you, Blood Artist. Why'd you do this? I love you, sir. Why'd you fucking do this?
I love you,
This
man.
is like-
This is you've overcooked the meat. It's burnt.
I mean, this is like crossing somebody up in basketball. That's what it is. It's flim flam. I very much dislike it. I don't like this intent doesn't matter, death of the author type argument a lot.
Yeah, because it's very easily flipped. It's just this has been nothing.
Yeah. I think the best argument he has raised is that like Leyline of the Guild Pact in a monocolored deck, are there interactions that are broken? That one, I don't even know what examples exist, but that one is like, okay.
Here's the thing to go along with, are there things where color identity and color being different break things? Isn't that going to be fun to find?
Shut the fuck up. 3, 2, 1.
Slopes are, of course, a logical fallacy. The hybrid mana change proposal, even if it were implemented, would not mean that the more extreme measures in this direction would be taking place down the line. My question, though, is, what reasons do we have not to go further? Let me explain what I mean. Check out this card, Pact of Negation. Pretty cool, it's a favorite of mine. A 0-mana counterspell that even hits creatures. Powerful stuff. This thing does not have any colors in its mana cost, but it does have both a color indicator and colored mana symbols in its rules text. But why do we care about those? We're considering ignoring one of the colors in Kitchen Finks' actual mana cost, right? If that's the case, why don't we just change the rule again? This time,
Because
to make
you
it so
can't
that
spend
color
either mana
indicators
on
or
blue
pips
blue.
of
Because
rules
of
text
designer
aren't either.
intent!
This doubles back nicely to the problem of developer intent. The intent of these 0-mana pacts is to give you a free spell, one that does not require you to be in the correct colors for them, so long as you're comfortable risking death on your next upkeep. But what if
There
I
we go.
am?
Okay.
This card can stop you from having your combo interrupted, or getting your finisher countered. A variety of cases exist where this card is useful despite not being able to pay for its drawback, because it helps you win before your next upkeep. So, there's a lot of application for it to see play outside of blue decks. The designers intended you to be able to use it outside of blue, and it's possible to cast without blue mana. It shares all of these factors in common with hybrid mana cards, and so, for what reason should Pact of Negation not be allowed to see play in other color decks? if
Because
hybrid
it's
mana cards
fundamentally
can't?
just
No
different
reason
than
is the
hybrid
answer,
mana.
outside of the fact that now we're picking and choosing
I actually
Yeah,
like this one
elements
the
of
most.
color
I
identity
like this
we're
argument
okay
the
with
most.
ignoring.
Yeah,
Let's
it's the
take this
best
one
argument
step
so far. I
further.
still disagree
Phyrexian
with
mana
it.
cards. They have this little symbol. It means you can either pay
We
one
are
mana
picking
of
and
the corresponding
choosing,
color,
and that's
or instead
okay.
pay
Yes.
for it with 2 life.
And
Their
pause,
gimmick is that
pause.
most cards with
We've been picking and choosing since the very fucking beginning. Like the idea that we haven't been picking and choosing with every single part of Commander, and this is them bringing up this. This is them arguing a different thing to try to argue the original point. The argument is like, well, why don't we change this extra thing, huh? You like change so much. Change so much. Because I think they've preemptively discounted it by saying designer intent doesn't matter. And I think you and I are both in the camp that designer intent does matter.
Yes.
Because the designer intent of Manamorphose is mono red decks can pay for this.
Yes,
Mono
exactly.
green decks can pay for this. The designer intent with Pact of Negation is mono blue decks can pay for this. Everybody else cannot.
Yeah, here's the spice. This is the major spice here. Pact of Negation was designed to be a blue Magic the Gathering card. It is a blue effect. Manamorphose was designed to be a red and green effect. The argument here, it doesn't make sense. Because yes, well, they are both as easy to cast in a Gruul deck, Pact of Negation and Manamorphose. One of these cards was designed with the intent of giving blue, while the other one gives both of its colors. We're using the word or here, right? It's a red or green effect. Versus it is a mono blue card, Pact of Negation. This is the difference. And this even extends into Phyrexian mana. Although you can cast Dismember in any color, Dismember is a mono black card in design, no matter how easy it is to cast. Whereas something like Flotsam Jetsam is blue or Dimir or Simic, right? It can be any of those things.
I think it is. I still think it's it's like the slippery slope that we are the closest to. Because I am partial to Falcon's point is the design intent of Pact of Negation is that you can cast it, even if you cannot play for it, even if you cannot pay for it. You are allowed to cast it. They designed it in such a way, because they could have made it, I mean, I think this actually assumes future sight. Because if they wanted it to be a free counterspell, there's not really another way. There's not really another way to do it.
So yes. So yeah, what you're arguing for is completely arbitrary. Matthias here in YouTube chat says, I don't think that's true. Pact of Negation was designed to be played in any combo deck. They'd have to be insanely naive not to know that Pact of Negation was useful in any color. My point is not that it's useful in any color, just that it is designed to have a color in mind. And if you want color identity, right, you want your Gruul deck to be Gruul, giving hybrid mana makes sense because it is a red effect at least. Or like in Rakdos, it is a red effect at least. Pact of Negation is a blue effect, even if it's free and easy to cast and can go in any color and is good in any color. My point isn't it being good. My point is the evocativeness of it. Secondly, it's arbitrary. Yes, it is. All of this is arbitrary. It's a game. Yes. It's a game.
Yes, I'm unfortunate to inform you that most of these points are arbitrary.
Yes.
We're not arguing the Phyrexian point because these are different things. These are different points that we are not arguing. We are not arguing that Phyrexian mana is colorless. We are not arguing that activated abilities and other pips on the card don't matter. Neither of us are saying Deathrite Shaman goes in a mono green deck. Like that's other shit that we're bringing up because we no longer want to argue this point. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Phyrexian mana costs do not require colored mana in order to cast them. You can usually pay all of their colored requirements with life instead, making them functionally colorless. Let's take Gutshot for instance. It's capable of being cast in any deck regardless of color. The designers intended these cards for use outside of their normal colors, and it's something that the decks outside of red might want. Again,
yes.
I have to ask, for what reason should I not be able to put Gutshot into any deck I feel like? That mana symbol represents either red mana or 2 life, and every deck can pay
it's
life.
Not red
if we
and
ignore
Uber.
One of the possible colors in Kitchen Finks,
is my
why
thought.
can't we just ignore the possible red in Gutshot? It seems pretty arbitrary to me. Overall, I believe this proposed hybrid mana change is an attempt to fix a non-existent problem, and that it introduces a variety of issues in order to do so. I understand the instinct to want access to having more options in your colors, and trust me, I have those desires too. All the time. I want Deflecting Swat in my Shana Purifying Blade deck. I want Slaughter Pact in my Kaikar Control deck. And I really, really want to play Fire Blast alongside my Obosh companion. The compulsion is always there, but after thinking about what it would mean for the game and its rules to change in order to cater to what I want, I realize that restrictions are a part of what makes Commander a great format. We've all been there, thinking for 2 seconds about how shifting the rules around would change the format and our favorite decks, but we rarely actually humor this idea, outside of being a fun thought experiment. I think it's really troubling that Wizards of the Coast, in the same year that they became stewards of the Commander format, started posing this question in earnest. To me, this shows a lack of interest in maintaining the foundations of the format, and instead a strong urge to change it around in order to fit what they want it to be. And, at the end of the day, I just don't think this dubious benefit is worth all of these issues. Because of these reasons, I would prefer this change not take place.
Okay, I'm pausing. Hang on, I'm pausing. Okay, so we're adding options. That's a big positive. Complicating color identity more is, I think, false. The most valuable argument. That's fine.
It's false. It's a fake argument. It's made up.
Yeah, so...
I mean, listen, biased population, end poll was like 95 to 30. that the original rule is more confusing.
Oh my god. So okay, opening the door to more changes, I have staunchly disagreed with the most out of these rules. He's like, listen, slippery slope is a logical fallacy, but, and I'm like, yes, it is an arbitrary thing that we're allowing hybrid mana but not allowing the rest. But there is some logical following. Like that this is meant to be both colors, whereas Pact of Negation is sure able to be cast by any color, but it's meant to be blue. It is blue. This card is designed to be blue. And sure, other colors can use blue easily, but it's blue. And that doesn't mean that, like, whatever. It's just, I already made my point on that.
Somebody in my chat posted, but I slide down this slope so quickly. What am I to do? Somebody had a highlighted message about elaborating on the restrictions build creativity thing. I do not think they do. I think restrictions can breed creativity, and I think choosing to be creative breeds much more creativity than any restriction ever has. I think we hold up, like, we'll get one fucking story about a monkey typing Shakespeare on a typewriter because it didn't get fed until it came up with a goddamn sonnet. And we take that one story that is the exception and treat it like the rule. And I think that's how we treat, oh, if I do budget, oh, if I do these color restrictions. And again, hybrid mana only fundamentally changes the restrictions of your colors if R&D is a fucking failure. That is a core point.
Here's a point from YouTube really quick, by the way. What do you think about the timing right before Lorwyn? Is that just a coincidence then? Even if this was a grand conspiracy to make Lorwyn a cooler set, is that really such an issue?
Right.
I really don't think so. Like, once again, R&D is not going to fly off the rails just because hybrid mana is not how it's supposed to, or my hybrid mana is how it's supposed to be now.
Yeah, and the Cusk brings up a good point of restriction breeds creativity when the main motivation is to succeed as efficiently as possible. This is not the case in casual Commander. That is a very good point that I do agree with, and I think slots nicely into my own head, so I'm going to call it confirmation bias and that's fucking awesome. I agree with that. A lot of the examples we hold up in real life of restriction breeding creativity is when somebody with limited resources or limited tools had to get a specific effect done. That is not the case in Commander. It is sometimes the case. But very rarely. Commander is much more often just fucking finger painting and arguing that these players shouldn't get, like, purple because they don't like it. It just is it's so disingenuous and does not apply in reality. It's like it's an entirely esoteric argument that I despise. Well, I agree with you largely. Why not play 100-card singleton decks in Standard? Some rules are necessary for a game. Where does this rule differ from the other basic rules?
100-card singleton in Standard is not Commander. That's you could also just... Yeah.
Well, you could also just do that. Like, why... We made the rules different because we wanted to have a different play pattern. I do not believe allowing hybrid mana fundamentally changes the play pattern of Commander.
Okay, here's a cool point from Falchion too. True hybrid, I get it even if I disagree, but 2-brid cards in Phyrexia mana are exactly the same in the terms of the color argument. That is a more interesting point to me, where it's like, yes, 2-brid cards are generic, or they are generic for more expensive, or they are their colors. That is very similar to Phyrexian. You are entirely right.
Mm-hmm. Because it's the anyone can pay generic mana, anyone can pay life. That, I think, is the first point worth examining a little bit more.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, maybe 2-brid sucks, but I still think hybrid's, like, insane. Like, that, like, not to save us a 30-minute long conversation, there is maybe something to look at about 2-brid in that point. because a lot of like defibrillating current is like that is a Mardu card. That's not really 6 colorless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wouldn't break anything though. I don't feel two-bird mana.
Two-bird mana is not going to break anything. I even doubt that Phyrexian mana would.
Yes, you could Zerd a companion a Gruul deck now if the rules change happens near the end, which is awesome.
They're almost certainly not going to do the rules change because everybody is being super fucking noisy.
God, I hope they do it anyway. It's such a cool idea. I want Flotsam Jetsam and Cormella. There's so many different cards that I would like. It would be so cool for, and the cost is maybe like 1% of the population's confused.
Mm-hmm. I agree that two-bird's a bit dicey, but think about it this way. Most effects can be colorless if they cost twice as much. For example, Ornithopter of Paradise. I think that's a good comparison. I think that's a good point of differentiation between two-brid and Phyrexian. The attractiveness of Phyrexian cards is typically that they are highly efficient. Pretty much all of the two-brid cards we're looking at are you have to pay way fucking more for this to be a generic effect.
Yeah, Dismember
for all the
is stupid.
Right, and so if it was, I'm trying to imagine if we would feel the same way about Dismember if Dismember cost 20 life. Like, I think we feel this way about Phyrexian Man. Like, it's impossible to totally separate the power level of a card from our feelings about like the purity of it as it relates to the color pie. And so I think cards like Git Probe, cards like Mental Misstep, cards like Dismember, we feel differently about those compared to Beseech the Queen because Beseech the Queen is objectively super weak if you do it for the generic casting cost, whereas Dismember for the generic casting cost is a 1 mana removal spell. That's very good. And I think that feeds back into the underlying assumption that if we allow this, design is going to shit the bed. Because then I think the underlying assumption is like, oh, we're going to get all these two-brid cards that go in every deck and are super good, and it just like everybody just plays it with their Smothering Tithe, and I fucking hate it. And I don't think that's the case. By the same logic, could we have a 4-mana colorless counterspell? No, I don't think every effect could be colorless. But I trust design to tell me which effects can and cannot be colorless. It's more to do with the fact that when we make something colorless, when you two-brid something, the colorless version is less efficient. When you Phyrexian mana something, the life version is more efficient.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. That's like the more I think about it, the more wild, like you are paying a premium to be able to use the generic version of the effect. And with Phyrexian, you are getting a bonus for it being genericized. The problem with trusting design is that we have 3 Modern Horizons proving we should not trust them like at all. So the difference there, Naraki, is that if you're a 60 card player, you shouldn't trust them. If you're a Commander player, you probably should.
Yeah.
What about a 3-bid blue counterspell that other decks could play for 6 or less with treasures?
I think we're like deeply in the sauce of custom cards here.
Now we're just slippery sloping things where I don't know enough about Magic design, enough about the color pie to weigh in on what effects can and can't go to colorless. I trust R&D more than I trust myself on that, and I think most people who dislike the hybrid mana change trust themselves more than R&D. And I think that's a problem for the game. That's a problem WotC has to solve, is that we have a bunch of people on the internet sliding down the slope, believing in their understanding of the game more than R&D. And I'm not saying you are wrong to feel that way. I think that is a feeling that Hasbro has inserted into our psyche because of all of their fuck-ups, but I do not feel that way.
Yeah. For sure. There's reason to distrust Wizards of the Coast. I feel like hybrid mana, you distrusting Wizards of the Coast on this one is like really a sign of like it's tough because like I think it dilutes everything else you should be distrusting Wizards of the Coast about when Gavin is like, hey, listen, I think this would be a fun rules change, and you're like, you're trying to kill my favorite format. Like, right,
yeah. Like it's so hard pressed to imagine somebody who is more committed to the health of this game than Gavin fucking Verhey. Like that dude is so deeply in love with this game and cares so much about this game being enjoyable and interesting. I like looking at all the examples of what could go wrong. Nothing could fucking go wrong.
Namor, thank you for the $2 super chat, by the way.
The only thing in practice that we have seen that would like go wrong from making this change is a hot dog would be skateboarding. And then we have all these theories about what might go wrong in the future because we distrust Hasbro.
Okay. I do want to kind of wrap back around real quick to the comment that we were talking about earlier and see if there's any points that we missed. I'm going to read it for myself here.
Okay.
Okay, a major issue with split mana being used as ore is that it destroys the idea of color identity, which is the EDH philosophy. Also creates messy sets of ifs, ands, or buts or deck building, which are now would normally have a creature colors exempt from their deck, such as having a mono blue deck with the other 4 colors of creature. I'm lost here already. What is the point being made on this one?
Yeah, I simply don't agree with the idea that hybrid mana breaks down the idea of color identity. I think it changes the idea of color identity, and I think the enfranchised people in any type of system are always going to be like, oh, a change to this breaks this thing. It's broken now. It's fucking broken. This is bullshit.
Okay. All right. So, can you run a split card in 60 card decks? Yes. Can you also put any land but this is a false transference. Yes, I can put planes into my 60 card deck, but this is just a completely separate thing. However, in Commander, you cannot run any lander card because of the identity rule. Yes, and we're saying the identity rule should probably be different for Hybrid.
Yeah. But I am sympathetic to the idea of like, we now feel all change bad because Hasbro keeps making negative changes.
Yes.
That's very real. That is super real, and we should be distrustful of Hasbro, and we should be like examining every single change with a huge degree of pessimism. I think this change, standing on its own, is very positive.
Okay. So many players just want everything, but it doesn't make the game better or more interesting, except for this change, which does. And then we have the limitations breed creativity fallacy.
But like Commander is a want.
Yeah.
Commander is a thing that we made up because we wanted it.
I want to have this legendary creature lead my deck.
Yeah.
I don't know. These are all arbitrary. Yes, it's fine. Like they want to sell us Lorwyn cards. This is just conspiratorial. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, not to mention many of the cards Elk listed as being either color or simply wrong. Ashiok has 3 abilities. I've already talked about Ashiok. Ashiok and Shadow of Doubt are 2. We have Mind Lock Orb. It is a blue effect to prevent a search. It's just a fact. And even if we do have some color pie breaks, because we do. It is really whataboutism. Because it's like, oh, what about the extra combat spell for mono white? Yeah, it's badass. What about it? It's yes, these design mistakes fucking exist. It's like, okay, great. But them existing in hybrid doesn't mean we're going to, in the future, get Orzhov hybrid, like exile target artifact or something, right? So mono black has artifact removal now. Like, that's just not going to happen. Because, once again, R&D isn't just going to lose their mind.
And, on top of it, if R&D does lose their mind, them not having access to fucking up hybrid mana is not going to mean anything. Like, if R&D loses, it's the Beast Within format, man. It's fine. Like, if they give, I was going to say mono blue extra combats, but we have that because we get the whole extra turn. Like, if they gave, I guess, mono green an extra combat.
Yeah.
Same shit as the stuff we're theorizing about with the hybrid mana change. We're just going like, oh, because this is a change, now I'm gonna blame everything I don't like on it.
Yeah, so anyway, I do agree with Epitaph's point that we don't need to have every little thing in every format all the time. I agree. Maybe Phyrexian mana is that. Maybe, this is something I've been asking for a long time, though, because I just think it's intuitive. I think it's interesting. I think it's fun. And really, fun is the core of the game. And it's not going to ruin your life that people are having more fun with hybrid cards. It's just, everything's fine. If you fold on this, what's next? This is slippery slope. I am so sorry.
I'm
sorry.
so lubed up, and this hill is so steep, Elk. What am I to do?
Oh, but I just love slipping down the slope.
I would trust Wizards more if the messaging on this change was more like the change for vehicles as commanders, i.e. we've tested this and we've seen that it's pretty cool, so we're making the change to help our next set. Rather than how they've messaged it as a question. What happened to the care and testing you did for that change? I would argue that this is more care because it's a much bigger change. It's not only going to allow way more meaningful cards, like way more cards will enter the pool of a lot of given decks if this change goes through than with vehicles. And they'll probably design using hybrid mana more. Like, hybrid mana is a tool that can be applied in very many ways. Vehicles fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like the vehicle change.
How did legendary spacecraft and vehicles ruin the format of Commander? I mean, I took all my Commander decks apart because of that rules change. Because
well, I don't even think they're arguing. They're not arguing that it was like ruinous, but I think they're talking about like, oh, why is this one they're throwing it up to social media, and the other one they were like unilaterally we're confident that this is okay, and I think it's because vehicles are dog shit.
Yeah,
it is because vehicles are dog shit. And make like negative 27 impact. And Conman's elaborating. The vehicle change was asked to the previous panel. This one was too, but the panel was undecided, so Gavin asked the community. That also makes sense to me. This is a much bigger change, both in terms of the cards that will be more playable now, and in terms of how WotC is going to design cards in the future. Like there are way more examples of interesting things they might do with hybrid mana than interesting things they might do with vehicles.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's Cardinal saying, I do think that vehicle spacecraft change was dumb too. Not really any vehicles I would want to run as a commander, but they made it so they can put starships into precons. Okay. How did it negatively impact you? Is it? Well, I mean, Hearthhole like sucks to play against, but like that would be a creature otherwise.
Well, it's more the feeling of like that, more the feeling of they're making so many changes that are 100% not for fun. And so how are we to trust that this change that they say are for fun is even for fun? Because the spaceships thing was for fucking Star Trek. It didn't ruin anybody's life. But they gave us this whole song and dance about like, it's going to be so funny. We've tested it. It's going to be so great. By the way, Star Trek.
I think it is fun, though.
I think it is, too. I think that's where I think it's very difficult for people to parse their feelings and have an articulate discussion about this because it is all gray area. There are many examples of vehicles can be your commander that is more fun. That is fun for somebody who wanted to do that didn't get to do it before, gets to do that now. And also they get to do a Star Trek UB now. And these types of, and I think historically, not even with WotC, with capitalism as a whole, when these types of win-wins are presented to the consumer, it's typically because we're getting fucking fleeced. And I think that is the sentiment that is arising with this now, as we keep getting presented with these win-win changes that just so happen to sell way more cards, and now everybody's feeling the weight of like, oh man, do these guys only want to sell cards? And the answer for Hasbro is 100% yes.
Yeah, Hasbro's goal is to sell cards. Absolutely.
Yeah.
My thing is just like, there are multiple parties here. There's like designers and there's Hasbro and there's like, Here it feels like the designers are really just trying to say like, hey, listen, this would be interesting. And it's something that I've thought about before it even being proposed by R&D. It's just like, yes, this would be such a cool change and I would love it. It would be awesome. I don't know. I feel like the reactions to this has been way too strong. And it really,
well,
it really says a lot though about the consumer trust once again though. It's just like people are tired of
It's the Spider-Man thing again. Spider-Man was a totally fine set that we just fucking hate because we hate Hasbro, and we've not had a lightning rod that we're allowed to be super angry at.
Yeah, if we liked Hasbro, this stream wouldn't be happening. If Hasbro like
Yes,
we're good stewards of the game. Now we're just completely resistant to any change ever because Hasbro's going to fuck it up. Versus
because we no longer trust them to guide anything.
Versus just looking at it objectively of it not being that big of a deal.
Yes, it's an okay change, but what am I getting fed to if I accept it? That's what I feel. Right. I sympathize with that so much. It's like, what's going to happen? When am I going to get the fucking One Ring wrapped around my little neck? I still believe that EDH will have its Hogak moment, so my distrust of R&D starts there. If you want commander examples, yada, yada, yada. I don't buy the defense argument, just trust R&D. I'm not telling you to blindly trust R&D.
No, of course.
R&D makes mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
But
They're
most
humans.
of the...
It feels like
But if we're
R&D's
saying-
mistakes are human, and it feels like Hasbro's mistakes are fucking... What's his name? Chris Cox?
Yeah.
It feels like that lich is like fucking trying to like sink his vampire teeth into my wallet when Hasbro makes a mistake. When R&D makes a mistake, it's a design mistake, and they're like, sorry guys, this card was way too strong. And it's because they're humans. It's because R&D are humans. They're not like corporate like shareholder worshippers. That's just like the truth of the matter.
And the examples that are being held up of how this is going to go wrong is basically saying if this change is allowed, R&D will only ever make mistakes. That's basically what we're saying. Oh, I can't pull up Sheldon Menery quotes. I will not speak ill of the dead. And if I look at anything on Twitter, it will happen. Yeah, like if we're like, oh, we can't do this because we're gonna have a Hogak moment, because we're gonna have a Nadu moment, we're gonna have, whatever. It's like, why are we printing any cards?
Yeah, just play pre-commander, guys. If you really feel like this is like that big of a deal, it's like there's a format for you.
Right. If we're like, WotC's gone off the rails, that's hyperbolic. It is, but I don't get the difference.
Yeah, the difference is it doesn't exist. If you don't like how Hasbro is stewarding the format, you don't like it when new cards are printed. It's like the same exact thing.
Like, I would love to... If R&D is so untrustworthy, how are there not more arguments for more bans? There's a massive inconsistency in these arguments. I don't understand how to parse that sentence. It may just be too tired. But I agree with Mojo Muffin. We're going to have a Hogak, Nadu, Vivi, whatever else moment, regardless of the hybrid mana change, because the hybrid mana change isn't the problem. I think that is a better core point. If we are worried about designers making mistakes, those designers are going to make mistakes no matter what. Them having access to hybrid mana means that one of those mistakes will eventually be hybrid mana, as opposed to it not being hybrid mana. But I do not think that at a core level, it makes more mistakes happen. It just means that, this mistake is going to be hybrid mana instead of a 4-mana Simic creature.
Exactly.
This mistake is going to be hybrid mana instead of the colorless artifact, the One Ring. Like, I don't think that it meaningfully changes any of the pathways or the feedback loops or the things that make design mistakes happen in the first place. It's just changing the aesthetics of the next design mistake.
Right. Do we think we've wrapped it up and put a nice bow on it here?
I think so. Yes.
Great.
Oh, Lulu has sent in a super chat. Let me catch that. Thank you for the 10, Lulu. It's funny how, despite really disliking the potential change, I'm actually a huge fan of nearly all changes WotC has done after gaining control of the format, brackets vehicles. Am I alone? I don't think anyone would verbally agree with you. I don't think many people will. But that's part of why I said the comment on Trinket Mage's video that was like, we can't trust WotC to balance the format or design the game, and that's untrue. If we look at everything that has happened for Commander over the last 10 years, the 60 card players like Commander less because it's a very different game to 60 cards. So a lot of the old long-standing players like the game less now because they've going into this new format that's a totally different game. But like 99% of things that they've done have been good and fun and have ripped.
Yeah.
Like they're doing pretty goddamn well, unfortunately. Like I love being a hater. I'm a hater deep in my soul, and it's just like they're on a fucking generational run right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for me.
I'm good to send these people off somewhere else as well. Benjamin Wheeler
Okay,
is live right now.
We're gonna drop the kids off at school. What's some type of what's the raid message for today?
Not changing hybrid mana is by erasure. Just go with a classic. There you go. That is your raid message, everyone.
That's the raid message. That's the raid message. We're going to the fucking rodeo.
All right. So let's read Ben Wheeler. How do you feel about that? He's playing
Yeah,
Cube
let's
right
do
now.
Ben. Let's do Ben Wheeler. I'm hitting start raid. Thank you all for being here. Go follow Elk on Twitch, subscribe to them on YouTube, watch their latest video. We will be content nuking that tomorrow. That's not actually happening. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate your generosity. I'll see you Wednesday. Please remember to stay toxic.
Right.
YouTube, that's just it for us.
Yep, YouTube, you're